I'm in the world, but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's right and they don't. Life is simple, it's no puzzle. Common sense will tell you not to wear a muzzle. Fear no evil, trust no people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me.
I offend everybody, the left, right, in the middle. Blame my parents because I've been this way since I was little. It used to be normal, now everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. They treat you like dogs, hitting muzzles all on your faces, forcing kids to wear them in schools. Doesn't this seem outrageous? They ban Bible scriptures on TikTok.
Let's go to Target! Let's go to Target! Need some PlayStations! Let's go to Target!
I'm in the world, but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's right and they don't. Life is simple, it's no puzzle. Common sense will tell you not to wear a muzzle. Fear no evil, trust no people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me.
I offend everybody, the left, right, in the middle. Blame my parents because I've been this way since I was little. It used to be normal, now everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. They treat you like dogs, hitting muzzles all on your faces, forcing kids to wear them in schools. Doesn't this seem outrageous? They ban Bible scriptures on TikTok.
Let's go to Target! Let's go to Target! Need some PlayStations! Let's go to Target!
I'm in the world, but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's right and they don't. Life is simple, it's no puzzle. Common sense will tell you not to wear a muzzle. Fear no evil, trust no people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me.
I offend everybody, the left, right, in the middle. Blame my parents because I've been this way since I was little. It used to be normal, now everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. They treat you like dogs, hitting muzzles all on your faces, forcing kids to wear them in schools. Doesn't this seem outrageous? They ban Bible scriptures on TikTok.
Let's go to Target! Let's go to Target! Need some PlayStations! Let's go to Target!
I need to figure out how to get that to fade out. What up? Uh-oh, we peaking? Oh, we peaking. What it do? What it do with JS? I'm the people champ. My chain light up like a lamp because I'm back with the camp. I hate Paul Wall. What up, guys? It's Monday. You know what that means. Dreadedconservative show. Kicking the week off right. Monday night. Everybody hates the Mondays. You got a case of the Mondays? Not me. This is like my Tuesday. I worked last night. What we got today? Hold on. I'm closing some stuff, opening some stuff. What do we got today in the news? We got Trump aid. We got Elon Musk and Trump are ending AIDS. AIDS is over, guys. They're ending AIDS. What up? Are you crazy? Culpercast, HP Lovecraft. Trump and Elon, Doge, they're ending AIDS. We're going to talk about the end of the AIDS. America had AIDS. We had lots of AIDS. And we're ending the AIDS. Shout out, Chris. Crook. What up, Crook? Crook. We're ending the AIDS. We're going to talk about the useless spending. We're going to talk about everybody, all the conspiracy theories that everybody knew was true. You know, the Clintons, I heard they murdered a guy, but I also heard that they were stealing money from Haiti. You know, remember they locked up, what was that? Was that Haiti when they had all the what did they have? It was like toilet paper or something and water locked up in a warehouse somewhere, and they weren't giving it to him, and they blamed it on Trump, but it was the dang Democrats. Jush and Crew and Juh. We need to make a show, Chris, called Crew and Juh. Yeah, so Clinton's getting rich, the Gates getting rich, everybody getting rich, and Americans are paying for it. They're laundering money. It's almost like they would like set up this big scheme to claim they were giving aid to other people, but actually they were just laundering money and, you know, getting Hunter Biden some crack. And Hillary Clinton paying Hillary Clinton so she could get a guy murdered. Yep. It's all coming out in the open. Everything done in the darkness will come to the light. And you know, the media company, the mainstream media is just gonna cover for them. Dumbasses like Freddie are gonna be like, "Oh, did you see this? Did you see this?" You haven't figured out yet that they control the media. It's not the guys you think control the media. Maybe some of those people might be involved, but it's the shadow government. It's the deep state. It's the swamp. It's the dang Democrats, the Rhino Republic, the children of the lie. It's the children of the lie. They, the ever elusive they, notice how they creep around in the darkness. They. Yep. Everything they do is coming to the light. And thanks to Trump. What else? We're going to talk about Doge. Really, our whole main segment's going to be about this Usaid stuff and Doge. Big Balls. Who's Big Balls? And what a awesome name for a hacker. And now Joy Reid believes that, I'm not going to show this in the show, but I did a short on it. You can check out my shorts. Joy Reid now, suddenly, she's a threat to our democracy. She's an insurrectionist. She's dangerous. She's saying that, she's hinting at the idea that they might have hacked election machines to steal an election in 2024. That's crazy. You can't say that. You need to be going to jail, Joy Reid. You're a threat to our democracy. Coffee sip. We'll talk about big balls. We'll talk about all these smart young gentlemen that are freaking the government out right now. People are losing their damn minds. And I'm happy. I'm loving it. Winning, sir. Winning. That's what's going on in America. What else? Trump's approval rate is up. Shocker. Shocker when you get a clean sweep in an election and the president comes in and actually does what he said he was going to do. People approve of it. That's crazy. Isn't that wild? Huh? Rapid fire news. We got some random little stories. And then we're going to talk about this Super Bowl. Super flop or Super Bowl? Subpar bowl? Was it a subpar bowl? Was it a Super Bowl or was it a super flop? We'll talk about that. I'm going to give you my hot take on Kendricks' halftime show. It's going to piss all the white people off. But I don't care. I don't care if you don't like my opinion on music. What else? And then the last segment, and I don't think he'll mind, but I heard I was listening to Speakeasy sometime last week. I think it was like last Thursday while I was at work. And the panel touched on feral children. And I'm always looking for crazy stuff to do a segment on in the last segment. Sometimes we Bible thump. Sometimes we'll do like philosophy. But sometimes we just talk about crazy stuff in the last segment. And they touched on feral children. Bricky doesn't want to debate Teriyaki and Wally, so I was thinking who I could ask to sub in for Brick if needed. And the only wacky one that would take wacky opposite positions that they would disagree on you is Bro Migo for UVC. What's the topic? I'll do it. I don't care. Bro, I'll make them think water ain't wet because it's not. Wetness is applied to water. Or water applies wetness. Duh. Anyway, feral children. I'm going to do a deep dive on feral children. We'll watch some videos. We'll read some Wikipedias. Because when you want to learn something, just read the Wikipedia. Duh. It's got to be real. It's on Wikipedia. So we're going to read Wikipedia. And it's not just kids who were raised by animals. It's also, there are some sad, some of it's going to be sad. You know, like Genie, like a little Genie. So we'll try not to make jokes at Genie's expense. Because it is sad. Some of these kids get left in houses, nasty, dirty houses, just left alone. What up, Elder Lime? Which, I don't want to say that. Well, there's a question that some people have hit me with in regards to free will that I've had a tough time answering, but I figured out the answer. I've got the answer now, so don't worry. Don't worry, I've got the answer. So yeah, some of these kids get left in houses and grow up by themselves, and then they become feral children. They can't talk. They can't. 10 years later, Genie still can't talk. So we'll talk about feral children. Shout out Speakeasy and his panel for giving me the idea, something to talk about this week. And that's the plan. So let's get into this. Let's get into this Usaid stuff. And make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe. No goal for tonight. But if you want to hit up the super chats or the cash apps or anything like that, it is very appreciated. You know, help me get rich. Because your boy been broke his whole life. I've been broke my whole life. Now money right. All right, let's get into this. I'm going to start with the White House. The White House report that they put out. And then we're going to look at some debunks because I'm fair. I'm a fair guy. I'm a real fair guy, you know. We'll look at what one side claims. We'll look at the fact check from the liberal fact checkers. And then I'll explain why they can fact check these nuts. What up, Stubborn One? Oh, Stubborn One, I got something funny. You got to be here when we do the memes because I got one of your memes. I was like, oh, I'm going to spoil it. So, but, all right. So from the White House, my headphones are too loud. My voice is too loud in my ears. It's loud. We have to choose topics, dude, but Bricky doesn't get back to me, and I ain't going to be the one that get told that I bitched out the tag team challenge. The challenge. Tag team challenge. Did I hear challenge? I have never backed down from a challenge. Yeah. Well, the audience chooses the topics. I don't care what the topic is. I ain't gonna study for a dang UVC. You know, I'm always ready. Let me read this. For decades, the United States Agency for International Development, The USAID, they got AIDS, has been unaccountable to taxpayers as it funnels massive sums of money to the ridiculous and, in many cases, malicious pet projects or entrenched bureaucrats with the next to no oversight. So, and according to Michael Knowles on Piers Morgan, not all of the USAID programs are bad things, but there is a lot of wasteful spending and a lot of nonsense that they're spending money on. And if you saw in the VK when we were talking about Elon and everybody was talking about USAID, and then I had a 1v1 and I was like, I don't really want to do this topic yet. It's because I knew I was going to talk about it on my show, and I don't like giving my opinion before I give it on my show because I want to do my research, you know? I like to wait. I like to let things sit for a little while. That's why we only do this once a week instead of every day, so that I don't jump to any conclusions. I'm a smart guy, guys. I know what I'm doing. So let's get into this. What up, Rome? 1.5 million to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in Serbia's workplaces and business communities. Yeah, I love when my taxpayer money is helping Serbians be more diverse. That's great. How diverse do you think Serbia is? What's the racial demographic split in Serbia? Let's check real quick. Hold on. Serbia racial demographic. Serbs, huh? It's ethnically diverse country with Serbs as the largest ethnic group, followed by Hungarians, Bosniaks, and Roma. What color are all these people? I bet you they all look similar. I bet you Croats, Slovaks, Montenegrins. I almost feel like I'm going to get content strike just for saying that. Vlachs, Romanians, Yugoslavs, and Macedonians. Serbs make up 89% of Central Serbia. Sounds super diverse and ethnic. Wow. I'm glad that we're sending $1.5 million to spread diversity, equity, and inclusion in Serbia. I'm sure that's a huge priority for them. $70,000 for production of a DEI musical in Ireland. Where's Terriak? Did he see the show? I bet you he saw the show. He probably loved that. Where's Terriak? Tell him Jay said, did you like the musical, Terriak? What musical? That's not a good Irish accent. 2.5 million for electric vehicles in Vietnam. Yeah, because when you're in the jungle, you know, when you're in the dang Pung Tang jungle, you need to have a Tesla. There's no chargers, but, you know, we need electric vehicles in freaking Nam. Lieutenant Dan lost his legs for those electric vehicles. 2.5. Oh, I already read that. 47,000 for transgender opera in Colombia. The only thing better than a DEI musical is a transgender opera, to be honest. I mean, I wish somebody could have got me tickets. Where's Mr. Mad? He's from Colombia. Mr. Mad, what do you think about the transgender opera? I'd like to see that. I wonder if there's footage on YouTube of it. 32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. Guys, this stuff is awesome. If there's, you know, who cares? I don't need my tax money to fix the roads, even though they're all filled with holes and garbage and break your vehicle down. And, you know, I don't want my tax money to pay for fire stations and police stations and border protection and defending our country. I want my tax money to go to transgender comic books and operas and DEI musicals. 2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala. You know, when Flora used to come on the show, we actually talked about this a lot. How, and I don't even know if this is true, but she said she worked with like a adoption agency or something like that, where like they adopt out kids, and all these American Democrats come over to go over to Guatemala, and they're all gay and they adopt up all the kids. But she said the kids that get adopted by the gay parents end up turning out straight, and the kids that get adopted by the straight Democrats end up turning out gay. So I don't know what the deal is. Probably because the gay parents, they adopt the kids, and the kids are like, I don't want to be like them. And then the straight parents adopt the kids, and they turn them gay because they need their virtue signal because they're not gay. So they need like some gay kids. That's my theory. $2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala. $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt. I mean, that's kind of based. As long as they're teaching them how the pyramids were really made, I'm okay with that. $6 million, you know? Who doesn't want to take a tour of Egypt and see where the dinosaurs lived? Hundreds of thousands of dollars for a nonprofit linked to designated terrorist organizations, even after an inspector general launched an investigation. Yeah, we got to send terrorists this money. That's one of the debunks. They're going to say, well, it was actually, it wasn't so that they could grow poppy fields to make heroin. It was so that the farmers could irrigate the crops. In the desert. Sounds all sorts of messed up. You would be right, Rome. You would be correct in assuming that. Millions to Eco Health Alliance, which was involved in research at the Wuhan lab. Yeah. Millions of dollars for, just so we can take care of some pangolins. Right. And the shocker, like I wasn't saying that, like everybody on the conservative side wasn't saying the whole time, that Obama and Joe Biden signed off on this to fund this lab where the Fluhan conveniently escaped from. I read that Guatemala has an average IQ of like 68. The last thing they need is LGBT nonsense. Yeah. Well, that's why I call it LGBT low IQ STD. You gotta be low IQ to not know what gender you are. Just look down. It's not that hard to figure out. Hundreds of thousands of meals that went to Al-Qaeda affiliated fighters in Syria. Well, Al-Qaeda gets hungry too. Funding to print personalized contraceptives, birth control devices in developing countries. Yeah. They got to have sex. You don't want your enemies making babies, but you want them to have sex as much as possible. Hundreds of sex without consequence. Hundreds of millions of dollars to fund irrigation canals, farming equipment, and even fertilizer used to support the unprecedented poppy cultivation and heroin production in Afghanistan. Okay, that's the one I was talking about. There's a debunk on that one. It's funny. We're going to read the fact check debunk here, and they address like two of these. This list literally goes on, and it has all been happening for decades. Under President Trump, the waste, fraud, and abuse ends now. Dun, dun, dun.
No, that doesn't work either.
No, that doesn't work either. Okay. So let's look at this little debunk from Center for Global Development. The White House demonstrates U.S. aid's efficiency. Please demonstrate the efficiency for me, because I'm not seeing it. The White House issued a press release 3 days ago, apparently designed to justify the ongoing stop work orders at USAID, alongside pulling agency staff out of the field and locking them out of their office. I'd argue the release demonstrates precisely why these moves are a mistake. The press releases a list of USAID-funded activities that suggest the White House demonstrate waste and abuse and massive sums of money that flow. I think in total it's like $140 billion a year that flow to the ridiculous and in many cases malicious, that's billion with a B, malicious pet projects of entrenched bureaucrats. Strong stuff. Looking at the list, I accept opinions might differ on the efficacy of U.S. government-backed musicals, operas, and comic books listed by the White House team. Sum total spent $150,000. Although, to be fair to USAID, these were actually projects funded by the State Department. Oh, well, that's even better. Meanwhile, it is true that USAID has as bad a record as the rest of the U.S. government in conducting the war on drugs. Oh, here we go. In this case, in Afghanistan, where projects to improve irrigation helped poppy farmers grow more, too, although the projects cost perhaps a little more than $100 million rather than hundreds of millions, suggested by the White House. Well, if it's $100 million a year, is this in total or is this $100 million a year? Because that would be hundreds of millions. But still, I wouldn't call irrigation projects for poor farmers ridiculous or malicious. I mean, I don't care what it's for. Sending money to Afghanis to make farms is ridiculous. The fact that they happen to grow poppy on those farms and ship heroin to America, and they take the precursors for fentanyl from China and they mix it all together in Mexico and they sneak it across the border and it kills Americans. I don't care. We don't need to help farmers in Afghanistan. We got Palestine to conquer right now. We're trying to build a McDonald's in Palestine. Hold on, Freddie's here. We got the Freddie sound effect.
You ain't got the answers, man. I've been doing this more than you. You ain't been doing the education.
Freddie, I've been doing this more than you. You ain't been doing the education. One of the larger accusations in dollar terms involves millions in EcoHealth Alliance, which was involved in research at the Wuhan lab. Indeed, EcoHealth financed bat virus research at the lab. So we're going to debunk this right now. But first, let us tell you why it's true. But the USAID project targeted by the White House had nothing to do with that research or the Wuhan lab bullshit. We're going to watch a clip. It was about improved farming practices and sustainable opportunities to reduce reliance on land, wood, or wildlife in conservation areas in Liberia. This, too, sounds comparatively unmalicious. Speaking of Liberia, did you know that country was started with a bunch of freed slaves and prostitutes? I think. Is that Liberia or Libya? One of those countries, like Abraham Lincoln said, if you guys want to go back to Africa when they freed the slaves, you're welcome to go. You get a free ticket. We got an island. We got a country for you. And they sent them, I think it's Liberia. They sent a bunch of freed slaves and a bunch of arrested prostitute women from America to Liberia, made their own country. And now in that country, they don't even let other people like come into their country. They're like racist against other Africans. We got to help the Afghan farmers. That's where all the opium is, right? Yeah, how are we going to kill off Americans with opium if we don't help the farmers? And you broke. Am I broke?
I've been broke my whole life. Now money right.
That's right. I know. I'm broke. I had to pay you $4 the other day. It's rough. Or the funding to print personalized contraceptives, birth control devices. I don't even know what that means. Print personalized contraceptives, birth control devices. Print personalized contraceptives, birth control devices. Does that mean condoms? This involves a program to make long-lasting and effective intrauterine devices, or IUDs, that don't have the side effects of cramping and discomfort. Oh, right. Because if you want to have, sex without any consequence, you need to make sure that it's comfortable by making them more personalized to each recipient's body. So we're paying to make sure that is an IUD the T one that goes in the vagine? No. An IUD is the intrauterine. Yeah. It's the dang T thing, right, ladies? That's the T. That thing that pokes the man back. While the man's poking, he's getting poked back. Yo, 5 memberships from Robert. Shout out. Shout out. Let's see who got them. Fredo got one. Let's go, Fredo. Everybody else on that list? I don't know. Oh, wait. I've seen ZT Dim before. I think I know that name. Other names, I'm not so sure. Shout out, Fredo. So we got personalized IUDs within a year. It doesn't seem such a bad idea. Yes, it does. What are you talking about? Maybe it won't work. Maybe it will. Maybe it will be too expensive. But it seems worth giving the team involved at the University of Texas some support to give it a try. But was this for other countries or for America? Yeah, I don't. Either way. We got to make sure our IUDs are comfy for the lady and the man. IUDs for your pleasure. Ribbed for your pleasure. It is worth clarifying that none of the cases listed amount to abuse, or at least the release presents no evidence that the rules weren't followed and that spending wasn't authorized. But give the White House team the benefit of the doubt and add up all the spending they list. It comes to about $120 million over a period of 2 decades. That's $6 million a year. Okay, but you realize they didn't list everything. At the end, it says there's a lot more on the list. $120 million over 2 decades. That's $6 million a year in arguable expenditures, or about 0.1% of USAID's budget. This seems rather weak grounds for shutting down an agency. Well, right, but 0.01% of USAID's budget went to that. What did the other 99.9% go to? Hillary Clinton? Chelsea Clinton? Hunter Biden? Big Mike? Why everybody looks sick? Who looks sick? You look sick. SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket family have a failure rate of 0.6%, 60 times as high, and nobody's calling for that program to be abandoned. The amount that the Department of Defense has spent on weapon systems that haven't delivered as planned is in the tens of billions or hundreds of times the waste and abuse and aid suggested by the White House. It is a comparatively reasonable reaction that Secretary of Defense is suspending new contracts, but no Pentagon stop work order has been. We're not going to shut down the Pentagon, but I bet we're going to tighten up spending there. Stop work order has been issued on existing contracts, nor is newly appointed Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth shutting down the Pentagon and sending troops home. Cases of not actually wasteful or abusive aid keep piling up. In the last couple of days, we've gone through the cycle of discovering supposed spending in U.S. media companies was actually on health supply chains. Okay, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Gamergate here in a second. Anyway, I read most of it. Yeah, so that's a debunk because we're fair here. Factcheck.org, sorting out the facts on waste and abuse at USAID. Probably more of the same. More of the same as what that last article said. Serbian DEI Project, an LGBT advocacy organization in Serbia, a country that fares poorly compared with other European countries on measures of LGBTQ rights. According to data from the European Union Agency for Fundamental Rights, hosted a 3-year program aimed at improving the inclusion of LGBT low IQ STD people in the workplace. From February 2023 to October 2024, USA committed to spending about $1.5 million in 3 roughly $500,000 installments to support the program. At a program conference in September 2023, Mission Director for USAID in Serbia, Brooke Isham, said, "At USAID, we know that inclusion development is important for driving economic growth and also for creating a healthier democracy." So your fact check is just saying that it's true. We did send $1.5 million to Serbia to boost LGBTQ advocacy. Fact check, true. DEI Musical in Ireland. Company's musical component called Other Voices put together a program called Other Voices Dignity Towards a More Equitable Future for the U.S. Embassy in Dublin. That announcement for the event said it will showcase the very best of American and Irish talent with a diverse program which aims to fulfill the U.S. Embassy Dublin's mission to promote diversity, inclusion, and equity. Ooh, I like that they put the inclusion before the equality or the equity, because I think that's the way it should be. Instead of DEI, it should be DIE. Diversity, inclusion, and equity. Die. Die is so much better, and they did it. So in Ireland, it's called Die. The event was streamed live on YouTube. Oh, great. And featured several Irish and American artists. Usaid isn't listed as providing any money for the event. But you just said that they did, or the State Department did. So they're saying it wasn't Usaid, it was the State Department. That's the debunk. Transgender opera in Colombia. I'm not going to go through all these. But factcheck.org is checking the facts for us, Even though they're probably getting funding by USAID to put out propaganda.
Respectfully,
control the public. Let's watch this clip. I'm stealing this from Jake Rattlesnake's channel because I didn't have time to clip it. Oh, damn. Kablooey. Don't mix up the IUD with an IED. That could get ugly. Got that Kung Pao up in there. Well, that's what happens when you have U.S. AIDS. Your IUD is essentially an IED. Where's my... There we go. All right, let's watch this. This is, Congress? Hold on, let's go actually back to... right to Chaw.
Ms. Powers, on April 26, 2023, you testified before this committee that USAID did not fund gain-of-function research. I'd like to give you a chance to correct the record. Is it still your position that USAID did not fund gain-of-function research?
We have no evidence that USAID has funded gain-of-function research, and we certainly haven't authorized gain-of-function research.
Well, I'll help you. Behind me, we'll list a paper from 2015. This is a paper produced by the Wuhan Institute of Virology and also by Dr. Barrick from UNC. In this paper, if you'll see the funding aspect that's highlighted, it says USAID EPT predict funding from EcoHealth Alliance. So this paper was one where they took a virus, the SARS virus, the backbone of the SARS virus, and then took an S protein from an unknown virus they found in the wild and put them together. Are you aware that these experiments in the study were supported by USAID, Predict, and Grant through EcoHealth Alliance?
As I said, USAID has not authorized gain-of-function research. This is the first time seeing this. We're happy to look into it.
This has been around since 2015. We've been over it numerous times. It's been in the public record.
Crazy. She has never seen this, even though Americans like myself were talking about this while it was happening, and she has no idea.
We've repeatedly said that, yes, USAID did fund gain-of-function research. Here's the evidence. But here's some comments from some different people about this study, because some will try to argue this still is not gain-of-function. Simon Wayne Hobson is a virologist at the Pasteur Institute in Paris. He points out that the researchers have created, with this research funded by USAID, a novel virus that grows remarkably well in human cells. If the virus escaped, nobody could predict the trajectory. Richard Ebright from Rutgers says, the only impact of this work is the creation in a lab of a new non-natural risk to humanity. So is your position that this study was not gain-of-function or that you didn't fund it? Which is your position?
She doesn't know about it.
We have had an awful lot of back and forth and provided.
Her answer is, I don't know. I don't know. The dishonorable Samantha No Power.
Thousands of pages of documents on this. This article, it looks like it's from 2015.
Right.
So we will have to look into the specific claims. But again, to put on the record,
it's a big
USAID has not and will not
that is your
authorize gain-of-function
I know that's your position, but the record will show that you did.
Well,
So you're basically a lying beep. And then one other clip. Hold on. Where'd it go? Oh, it's coming up right here in a second.
Know for a fact now, Eco Health Alliance and
to the work at Wuhan and to their collaborator, Ralph Barrick at the University of North Carolina, to collect and make coronaviruses that are weaponized, that are more deadly.
So I, first of all, reject the implicit accusation in that question, and I do not have at my finger. I do not have at my fingertips the particular details of USAID.
Are you saying for certain? Are you saying for certain that no USAID money went to the Wuhan Institute of Virology?
The question. Go ahead.
No, please tell me. Are you stating that no USAID money went?
I am happy to take questions from those in this audience. I'm happy to answer them. I appreciate that they treat every person in this room, including myself, respectfully. I called on you. I'm now calling on someone else. Go ahead.
Me respectfully, please tell me, what are you denying?
Go ahead,
What
please.
is your denial? It's a non-denial denial.
Glenn Beck also had.
It's a non-denial denial. Dodging, ducking, dip, dive, and dodging. And the guy's out here playing dodgeball with these fools. Okay. So they also, took a bunch of money. Now, some people are debunking this. Liberals are trying to debunk this, saying it's not true. But this guy, Solionoth, put this on X, and Asmongold talked about it. He said USAID put millions of dollars towards Politico, millions of dollars a year to write hit pieces like this one, which promotes diversity and describes Gamergate as disinformation. Now, this is just one example of a giant hoax that we knew was a giant hoax. The Gamergate situation, when they said all gamers were white supremacists, alt-right, right-wing Nazis who hate women. And so they had to get a bunch of diverse, inclusive, equitable women, large black lesbian women to run all the gaming companies. And now, surprisingly, all the games suck. What happened, Ubisoft? What happened, Ubisoft? Watch when nobody plays your Assassin's Creed Shadows because of this crap right here. And all the media reporting on it was garbage propaganda. Look at this hit piece from Politico from Gamergate days. The status handoff of Washington's most famous gamer from a libertarian-leaning white man to two millennial socialist women of color. Commies. In some ways, the perfect summation of how video games have changed in recent years. Video games were never really the exclusive province of white male loners. But that's been the stereotype, and some players took that reputation seriously, so much so that they organized a backlash to try to protect it. And so was born Gamergate. 6 years ago, a disinformation campaign with the profoundly stupid name of Gamergate. This is Politico. This is Politico. Politico. And just listen to the writing. Listen to the writing. It sounds like some girl in high school wrote this. 6 years ago, a disinformation campaign with the profoundly stupid name, what a stupid name, of Gamergate spent several months orchestrating a series of harassment campaigns of women game developers and critics. Several women fled their homes in fear for their safety, which the FBI investigated and found no evidence of this, by the way. The harassers' motivation to drive people they dubbed social justice warriors for their progressive values and their desire to see more realistic depictions of women and minorities in video, because that's what gamers really wanted. We really wanted to see some fat black radical lesbians in our video games. Because that's, especially if it's a game about, like, I don't know, Vikings. If I'm playing a video game about Vikings, I need my Viking leader to be an African-American woman of lesbian descent. She was born from two lesbians, placed into a war, and decided to fight for her land. I don't know how you're born of two lesbians, but she was. It's a mystery. progressive values and their desire to see out of the industry. The campaign worked well enough that Steve Bannon, as reported in Joshua Green's Devil's Bargain, used it as a template for Trump's presidential campaign. But Gamergate also prompted a backlash to the backlash. Double backlash. It didn't stop the thing it set out to stop. Isn't that a double negative? That'd be a front lash. A backlash to a backlash? That would be a front lash. It didn't stop the thing it set out to stop. Chris Plant, the editor-in-chief of Polygon, said to me today of Gamergate, if anything, it made it go faster. And so in 2020, no one is surprised that 2 30-something progressive women play video games. Yeah, but they suck at it. Games have always been big and diverse, as disparate as TV and books and movies. They are played and made by people who just want to zone out with some dumb entertainment and by people who want to expand their horizons with something strange and sublime. No one person represents them. Video games don't belong to a 31-year-old New Yorican? What does that mean? New Yorican woman any more than they belong to reactionary Reddit trolls. So it was basically, shocker. Shocker, it was an attack on young white men. Shocker that they've been doing that for a while. Who would have thunk it, Who would have thunk it? What are you guys talking about? Not enough front lashes going on. No, it was spelled Nuyorrican. New Yorican. I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? What is a New Yorican? Is that like a new Puerto Rican? New Yorican is a term that refers to people of Puerto Rican descent who live in or near New York City. What? It can also refer to the culture of these people. The word is a combination of the Spanish word Nuyoriquino, New Yorker, and the English word Puerto Rican. New Yorican. I'm a New York Puerto Rican. What the? It's so retarded. It's so retarded. Crazy. So Gamergate was a scam. Shocker. We already knew that. What else? So who's doing this? Who's behind Doge? Elon hired a whole team of young geniuses, and the left is freaking out because they're like, oh, it's young white male. And they're not even all white. But there's some young white men. Oh, why are they redirecting me on some of these pages? I wanted to show you the squad. The new squad. It's a bunch of young men geniuses. One of them decoded a freaking scroll from Pompeii that was in a volcano. He found the word purple in some foreign language and used AI to decode it. And you got AOC saying, these guys aren't smart. These guys just really aren't smart. Elon Musk and all these young white guys, they're not very smart. Bro, he decoded a scroll from a volcano with AI. He's not smart. One of the guys won the Elon Musk hackathon or whatever he called it. And we got big balls. We got big balls. Who is big balls? Who is big balls? Teen Doge engineer Edward Coriston, a 19-year-old with a concerning hacker background known online as Big Balls, is working as Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. One former FBI agent has said he would not have recommended Edward Coriston for government work, knowing his work experience to date. Why it matters. Well, you've seen the movie Swordfish, right? If China is using AI to hack the Pentagon, wouldn't it make sense that we have some better hackers on our team from America? Huh. What are we going to do? We're going to use H-1B visas to get some Indian and some Chinese hackers to hack the hackers in China and India? That makes sense. How about we find some smart American hackers to fight these damn commies? And that's what Elon did. He's the dang swordfish. Who was that in the Swordfish? Who was the actor's name? I forget the actor's name. Hugh. No. I don't know. Anyway. He's got to hack the computer while he's got Halle Berry dancing on him naked. And if he doesn't, he gets his head blown off. You get 1 minute, go. And he did it. That's how Elon vetted this guy. Coruscant's recruitment to Musk's team, which was commissioned by President Donald Trump to recommend ways to cut down on government spending, symbolizes the new administration's unconventional approach to government reform. Doge has quickly become one of the most important additions to President Donald Trump's new administration, with Musk's advice being the driving force behind the Usaid shutdown. It represents Trump's election promises to cut back on federal spending and the deep state. They. Previously, it was reported that Doge staff had received equivalent training and security clearances to federal employees who work with sensitive information. However, the White House has not confirmed if Coruscant has received these clearances. Coruscant is a high school graduate with a history of launching startups. He's like 19 years old. He's like probably already a multimillionaire. And AOC's like, well, these people aren't very smart. You know, I used to be a bartender, so I'm smart. I'm very smart. AOC's like sub 90 IQ. Joy Reid is saying, Elon Musk isn't a genius. He's definitely not a genius, while she sips her wine and talks about how the elections were stolen. Threat to democracy, insurrectionist, Joy Reid. Hugh Jackman. Yeah. Hugh Jackman. Yep. Remember he hacked that dang thing with Halle Berry on him naked? What's the clip? Halle Berry. I can't remember. That's his name from that now. Hugh Jorgen. No, not Hugh Jorgen. Hugh Jackman. All right. However, many of these ventures were absent from his now deleted LinkedIn profile. In 2022, he hacked LinkedIn and erased his past. He worked briefly for Path Network, a network monitoring company known for hiring former hackers, according to Wired. That same year, an individual using a Telegram alias linked to Coruscant reportedly sought out a cyber attack for hire service. One of Coruscant's ventures, Tesla, Sexy LLC, registered when he was just 16, manages dozens of web domains, including Russian-registered sites. Uh-oh, he's a Russian agent. One of these still operational offers Healthy, an AI-powered Discord bot operating in Russia, which could present security clearance challenges per Wired. I forgot to mute my cough, my bad. So he's 16 and he's already like got multiple organizations and startups and giant Discord bots, Russian. This kid's epic. Coruscant worked at Neuralink. Oh, he's working on putting chips in the brain. This is why I'm trepidatious. Is that a good word there? I'm trepidatious of Elon. I don't know about putting chips in people's brains. I'm not with it. I ain't getting chipped up, you know. Before joining Doge, where he was reportedly participated in meetings reviewing government personnel and code. So that's huge balls, or big balls. Hugh balls. Hugh Jorgen. He's a Russian agent. I guess he's in a rush then. That was a bad joke, Rome. That was bad. That was really bad. What happens next? Doge continues to make sweeping changes in the federal government, with Musk spearheading cuts to USAID and DEI practices. Let's go. So there's all the USAID stuff. We got a few other epic Trump moves. Did you know yesterday was Gulf of America Day? Shout out Gulf of America. And why are they redirecting all my stuff? What is going on here? Oh, I think I have it in rapid fire, but okay, cool. I got it back. Okay. We'll talk about Pete Hegseth canceling identity months in rapid fire. But first, it's Black History Month. I normally, during all of the special months, we do segments talking about the months that it is. But as of 2025, that's over. No more identity months. No more Pride Month. No more Black History Month. I'm still going to celebrate White History Month because of diversity, equity, and inclusion. But no other months. No Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th to October 15th. Doesn't make any sense. They get two halves of the month. But as of yesterday, we celebrate on February 9th, we celebrate Gulf of America Day. Look at this. Gulf of America Day, straight from the White House. Today, I am very honored to recognize February 9th, 2025 as the first ever Gulf of America Day. On January 20th, 2025, I signed an executive order 14172 restoring names that honor American greatness. Along with other actions, that executive order required the Secretary of Interior, acting pursuant to 43 U.S.C. 394 through 394F, to take all the appropriate actions to rename as the Gulf of America the U.S. continental shelf area bounded on the northeast, north, and northwest by the state of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida, extending to the seaward boundary with Mexico and Cuba, in the area formerly named as the Gulf of Mexico. White History Month never stops, baby. Ain't that right? Let's watch Trump doing it.
We're flying right over it right now. So we thought this would be appropriate.
Yo.
Even bigger than the Super Bowl. This is a big
We went from Biden
and
sleeping on his basement to Trump doing press meetings on Air Force One while they fly over the Super Bowl and renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Can you say based? Can you say winning, sir? Winning. Trump.
almost everybody now has assented to that.
Attention on board. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please direct your attention out the right side of the aircraft. Air Force One is currently in international waters for the first time in history, flying over the recently renamed Gulf of America. Please enjoy the flight, and we are now
big moves
westbound to Super Bowl 59.
Bro, I can't wait to visit Florida, and we're going to go to the beach, and I'm going to jump into the Gulf of America for the first time ever, baby. I used to jump in the Gulf of Mexico, and I would come out feeling grimy and dirty and stinky and nasty. Now I'm going to jump into the Gulf of America, and I'm going to come out feeling wealthy and empowered and strong and free.
Wow, he did that well. That's a good job. He did, isn't that nice? You know, what about make America great again, right? That's what we care about. Okay.
And the media said, what does renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America have to do with America first? And Asmongold was looking at it. He's like, what do you mean? What does renaming the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America have to do with America first? They renamed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. If that's not America first, I don't know what is.
Here we go.
Listen, that's a famous pen now. Look, this pen is famous now.
So this is a famous pen now. And we'll put it with something. I'll ask you to do whatever you think we should do with it, Mr. Secretary. Do you want to talk about, Doug?
This is a famous pen now. Oh, the wall going up. That's right. All right, so we got the Gulf of America. And now some news that people are thinking is not good. Trump's putting 25% tariffs on all aluminum and steel imports. Uh-oh. Steel prices going up. Until we start making them at home and you start buying American. Sounds like a good idea to me. President Trump says he plans to announce a 25% tax on all imported steel and aluminum, extending a trade battle he launched during his first term in the White House. The move has the potential to give a helping hand to domestic steel and aluminum makers, while also raising costs for businesses and consumers that buy steel and aluminum ranging from automakers to soda pop and beer drinkers. Uh-oh, my beer price is going up. You shouldn't be drinking. And who says soda pop? Who wrote this article? Sody pop. Let's get my sody pop. If you say soda pop, there's something wrong with you. I bet his first suggestion was Gulf of Trump and second was Gulf of MAGA. Yeah. We settled on Gulf of America. The move has the potential. Okay, so beer and soda pop, good. You shouldn't be drinking your carbs, you know. If they raise prices on beer, I might drink less of it. So, I'm with it. I say we just ban all of it. I'd love my children to be born into a world where there's not beer sold at every gas station in America. It would be epic. Sure, it might hurt me in the short run. It might suck. I'm going to have to brew my own alcohol. But you know what? For my children and my children's children, who may never exist, it's going to be epic. And soda, I don't even drink soda. Look, I drink Clear American, which used to be called Clear Canadian, I heard. Now they renamed it Clear American. America first, baby. America first. You know what? Tariffs on Canada. Apparently this stuff comes from Canada, as if we can't make carbonated water in America. Apparently this stuff comes from America or Canada. Canada. Dun, 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 Canada. But this price hasn't gone up. It's still 78 cents a bottle. Tastes like American excellence straight from Canada. I love it. So typical, you need someone to help you with your own will. No wonder you don't believe in free will. I don't even know what that means. Trump warned of the new tariffs while traveling on board Air Force One on Sunday. Any steel coming into the United States is going to have a 25% tariff. Trump told reporters en route to New Orleans, you can't even drink a beer without getting drunk. What are you talking about? You drink one beer, you're tipsy in a mug. John. I see you, John. I seen you drink one butter beer and you were drunker than Harry Potter in dang Diagon Alley. Okay, so we're going to tax steel. And also, you know, whatever trade war we're in, they're going to bow the knee, just like Canada did, just like Mexico did. China's going to bow the knee. They're going to bend the knee. One thing China's good at is bowing, and they're going to bow. Oh, they're going to bow. It wasn't immediately clear whether the new steel and aluminum tariffs, aluminium, Trump has proposed would replace. There's only one I in aluminum, Brits. It's not aluminium. There's only one I in the word, okay? Trump has proposed would replace the earlier tariffs or be added on top of them. Taxing imported steel and aluminum would likely raise the cost for people and companies that purchase those metals. Good. Make them at home. Mark McClellan, who runs an aluminum extrusion business in Texas, welcomes Trump's protectionist instincts. He's struggling with cheap foreign competition for car parts, window frames, and other aluminum products his company manufactures. But McClellan acknowledges Trump's earlier aluminum tariffs simply raised his own costs. It drove up our raw material costs by 10%, whether we imported them or not. Even if it was produced domestically, it raises our cost 10%. Well, then why do you support it now? They probably selectively edited that quote. Like, he probably talked for 10 minutes about how good it was, and then he says one thing about, well, in the short run, it did raise our cost 10%, but then he goes on and extrapolates for 20 minutes about how awesome it is, and they cut all that out, and then they just put the one sentence. Hermione gonna whip up some hair to dog potion. Because I don't normally drink. Well, then it looks like the aluminum tariffs aren't gonna hurt you. You'll be all right, buddy. All right. Makes me feel like I'm having a stroke. Okay, so all that's going on. Meanwhile, check this out from CBS. CBS poll. Now, granted, I don't even know who does these polls. I tried to fill out a political poll one time, and I got to the end of it. I spent like 10 minutes filling out this political poll, and I got to the end, and they're like, if you want to submit this poll for polling results, please donate at least $5. I'm like, what the? You can't even do a political poll without paying for it? No. This is why I've never been polled before. Who are they polling? Who are these people that they're allegedly polling? But anyway, let's pretend the polls are real for a second, because this is a good one. When the polls, we're going to be consistent. When the polls work out in our benefit, we like the polls. I like the polls when I'm winning in the polls. With most describing him as tough, energetic, and focused and effective, and as doing what he promised during his campaign, President Trump has started his term with net positive marks from Americans overall. Many say he's doing more than they expected. Any of those who say this most like what they see. Very few think he's doing less. His partisans and his voters in particular say he's got the right amount of focus on matters. Get this out of here. Like ending diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and deporting those who are in the country illegally. Based. And we're up to like 1,000 a day now. So for the people in the first 3 days of his presidency who are like, he's not doing enough, he's only sending 500 out a day, Obama did more than that. We're up to like 1,000 a day, and it's only been, 2 weeks? So calm down, give him some time, let him cook. His deportation policy finds majority approval overall, except for the virtue signaling liberals who are rich but won't invite them into their house. They're crying about, oh, they're deporting all the poor rapists, all the poor Chester molesters and diaper snipers. They're deporting them. Oh, no. But we care about human life. They murdered a guy or a girl, probably a white college-aged attractive young lady, and then they went to jail for 2 days and got released. Please don't deport Jose. Okay. Many say he's doing more than they. I already read that. His deportation policy finds majority approval overall, just as most voters said they wanted during the campaign, and that extends to sending troops to the border too. But one key issue looms. Most Americans say the administration isn't focused enough on lowering prices. Inflation was a key reason Mr. Trump won the election. Yeah, I've said it from the beginning. It's going to be tough to get those prices back down. And what I'd like to see is wages go up and prices just stay the same for a while so that we can balance out. It's going to be hard to have negative deflation, or that's a double negative. It's going to be hard to have deflation. It's going to be hard. So I've said from the beginning, I don't think he's going to be able to get the prices down to go down. I don't know. If he can do it, it'd be a miracle. And if anybody's going to do a miracle, it's Jesus. Next person to do a miracle is Trump. I know people hate when I say stuff like that. Second best option to do a miracle is Trump. Trump and his campaign promises. 70% say he's doing what he promised. 30% say he's doing differently than what he's promised. Well, 30% of people are probably retarded. So, you gotta give a little bit of leeway there. Trump's overall job rating, 53% approve, 47% of people are retarded. So there's that. And that's it on the main story news. Let's go.
I've been broke my whole life. Now money right.
Hit up the grift. Guys, get yourself a membership today. I got to start figuring out something to do for the members because we got members now. So, and hit up that like button. Now, what do we got next? Y'all know what time it is. Make sure that my... Okay. Did I Did I save that? So I'm a member of a Facebook group called SLC Protest, and I got a Reddit thing, Protests Across America, Protest Finder, Reddit/Protest Finder USA. The little Antifa maggots are doing protests like every week now at all the Capitol buildings. So we're going to try to make it out to some. Hopefully I don't die. Hopefully I get like punched in the face or pepper sprayed or something, because that's going viral. That's going viral. Hey, Project VO Pod got a membership. I didn't even know he was subscribed here. Thank you, Robert. Thank you for the membership.
La, 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 wait till I get my money right.
All right. Yeah, guys, it's time for the memes. I got my soundboard back, but it doesn't have all the stock sounds that it used to have. Sucks. From Crystal. Isn't it funny? Isn't it convenient? Her name is Crystal. Are you surprised? I'm not. Crystal Victoria here, this little pink-haired flurry, Furby, fluffy, whatever. She says, she posts on SLC Protest, "Hi, please delete if not allowed. Just curious what we're telling our employers when getting days off to protest. I really want to be involved, but I'm genuinely scared to put my job at jeopardy. I guess one day wouldn't hurt. Any tips or advice is welcome." You know, I got to say, at least I'm surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised that this person actually has a job. But they're trying to get days off of work. Guys, do you have any tips of how I could get a day off of work so that I could protest against evil, big, meanie, orange Trump? And also, in this group, it's all women. There's like one dude, and the rest are all large, nasty women. I bet you it stinks at that protest. I'm going to have to bring some dang Vicks Vapor Rub to put under my nostrils. Otherwise, my nostrils are going to get destroyed. I'm going to have a deviated septum by the time I leave. But, yeah, they all look like this girl right here, Crystal. Shocker, her name is Crystal. It used to be normal that everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. Yeah, calling sick. That's what it said. I don't have the comments in here, but the comments are like, you know, you could just say you're sick. Your employers don't have to they don't have to tell your employers the truth. Just say you're sick so you can come to the protest. Oh, man. Next. Did you guys see this at the Grammys? Did you see Jaden Smith looking like a dang fool? He had a big old house on his head. Look, he's got commie house on his head. What was he wearing? These poor kids are traumatized. And then his sister, Willow, who's non-binary, polyamorous, you know, or whatever the word is, where they'd probably have sex with a dog if it was attractive. Maybe a hazmat suit, wear a hazmat suit to the protest. Bring a gas mask and vapor rub. He got commie house on his head. What the? Next. If your mom was a corn dog, she's taking a triple D. This is your mom. Triple dog, corn dog. Until they post their sick day. Right. Yeah, I had a sick day, and I'm going to post a video of me at a protest. Protesting the big orange meanie. Meanwhile, all their bosses love Trump. A truck hauling Vicks Vapor Rub tipped over on the highway. Traffic reports say there will be no congestion. Oh, my. Okay, that was a decent one. Next. Your child isn't trans. You're just a shitty parent. Listen, trans kids, forgive your mama, return to your father, and seek Jesus. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Say it with me. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault that you want to cut your penis off. Your mom was crazy. And your dad wasn't there. Because she wanted that welfare. She don't care. Now you're kind of in a scare. Don't you dare. Okay, I'm done. I'm going to stop. Next. Based hobo. He's like, I ain't sleeping on that bench. I ain't even going to sit on it. I don't want my ass to get gay. This guy's rather crouch over here than sit on the gay bench. I would too. That might be contagious. There's probably USAIDs on that bench. USAID's paid for this bench, guys. Our taxpayer dollars. We got to paint all our benches rainbow. Make sure you don't sit on the rainbow bench, guys. Next. Dora. Dora, 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 the deporter. They're deporting Dora. Swipe or no swiping. Where'd the map go? You need to get the map. Sorry, Dora. You just got scooped up by ice.
No, that doesn't work either.
Next. Oh, sorry. This is something different. That's for something different. I'm going to make a short to teach people the definition of insanity because nobody seems to know what it is. They all think it's doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. That's a stupid definition for insanity, by the way. That means practicing anything is insane. That means bench pressing every day and expecting your max to go up is insanity. It's stupid. That's not the definition of insanity. Stop saying it. Anyway, border snitch. It's the border snitch. He's out here snitching on these new toy this Christmas season. Make sure to get your kids the border snitch toy set, border snitch play set, brought to you by Hasbro. Brought to you by Has Been an American. No more exploring, Dora. Time to go home. That's right. Next. Actually, hold on a second. Because that insanity thing popped up. I want to make sure there's nothing in here that shouldn't be in here. Not dirty pictures, but like my, I always screenshot my, when I pay my rent and when I pay my bills, I always screenshot my receipts. So they're in the same folder where I get this stuff from. I want to make sure my account number doesn't pop up on the screen or something. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay. I don't have any dirty girls in my pictures. That's from Far Cry. Don't know why people say it like it's an actual definition. No, it's from Einstein. Einstein said it. They probably used it in Far Cry, but it comes from Einstein. He said it. And yeah, it's a stupid definition. It doesn't make any sense. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Well, if I'm practicing my jump shot, I'm going to do it over and over and over and over and over again. And I expect to get better at it. That's called practice. Anything you want to get good at, you do it over and over again and you expect different results. Stupid definition for insanity. Anyway, next. Dude, I've done this one before. Oh, you guys can't see. I've done this meme before, but I think this is one of my favorite memes of all time. So check it out. We got the new longboard child carrier. You know, here's the longboard child carrier. Put your baby in it. You can skate to work with your baby. And when I drive by, I'm going to say, do a kickflip. Here's the guy doing a kickflip. Hey, do a kickflip. Anybody heard the song from Lil Wayne? Kick flip, kick flip, kick flip, kick flip. Do a kick flip, kick flip, kick flip. Or Jack Black when he said, do a kick flip. Look at that baby. We're going to kick flip that baby. I love that meme. Next. I used to be racist as F until the NFL painted "End Racism" in the end zone. And then I realized I'm wrong for this. Thank you, NFL. If you hadn't have painted "End Racism" in the end zone, I would have just kept being a racist. I never heard anyone use that till it was used in Far Cry. Nah, people have been using that for a long time. You're misleading. You're missing content. Oh my God. Here we go. Here we go. Please explain it to me, John. Break down. Well, actually, the point is not learning from making the same mistakes. Agree. Not the best word and idea. Solid. Thank you, John, for the input. Actually. Next. Me after hearing these women speak. You just blew my ear out. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. You just... Ah. Fight. You blew my dang ear out, woman. Stop nagging. Had a rally plan next week, but never mind. I saw the NFL and burned my white robe. Next. Imagine how much propaganda it took to convince women that this is oppressive.
No, that doesn't work either.
Look at that guy.
It's a man, baby.
Next. KFC? No. UFC? Yes. Look at that. That dang chicken got a chicken in an arm bar, a wing bar. It's a wing bar. Look at that wing bar. That's nice. That's nice. This chicken right here that's in the arm bar.
Beta.
This chicken right here that's doing the arm bar.
It's a man, baby.
That's right. Next. You will eat the bugs and you will be happy. The 2030 food pyramid. Microplastics, seed oils, bugs, and soy milk and antidepressants. This is the 2030 food pyramid from the brought to you by the World Economic Forum. A great way for health. Microplastics, seed oils, bugs, soy milk, and antidepressants for a better future. This sounds about right. It's not much different than the original pyramid when they send nutritionists into the school to figure out the proper nutrition for the kids. Their food pyramid was literally upside down. Carbs. This whole bottom thing was bread. You're supposed to eat 5 servings of bread a day. Carbs, rice. No. You know why they did that? Because carbs are cheap. Protein is expensive. Good meat is hard to find. Ain't that right, ladies? Ain't that right? A good cut of meat is hard to find. You should eat less carbs and leafy green vegetables and eat more meat. Pause. But seriously, eat your meat, gentlemen. Don't beat your meat, eat your meat. Next. Oh, wait. Hold on. One thing about this food pyramid.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
That's right. Next. Donald, what's going on in here? Donald, what's going on in here? In there. We're saving America, Jerry. Saving America. That's a whole lot of red. You see a whole lot of red in here. It's very nice. Very good. Some say it's the most red they've ever seen. Next. Sad. With Usaid shut down, this Ecuadorian child may never know what gender he is. Dang. Poor kid. Poor kid. He's going to grow up and have to be a man.
It's a man, baby.
Poor kid. He doesn't even have the option to... Never mind. Okay, next. Speaking of meat, Big Mike's Deli. What the? Damn.
It's a man, baby.
No, that doesn't work either.
Get your hands on some Big Mike's sausage. Big Mike's Deli. Speaking of eating your meat. Oh man. Oh Lord. Next. Them, how big of a conspiracy theorist are you? Me, I'm this big. Napoleon Dynamite is Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is Napoleon Dynamite. Taylor Swift is a man. Boom, boom. What song plays during that scene in Ace Ventura? He found Captain Winky. It's funny. I know you're typing that from the last Big Mike meme, but that actually applies to what I just said with the next meme. You're behind and you're going to see it. That was a double joke, Rome. Good job. Next. My grandfather full of asbestos. My father full of lead. Me full of microplastics. It's you, it's you, it's you. I just want to say, in case you guys didn't know, asbestos was BS. It's a scam. It was a big scam. It's not real. Asbestos, and I've talked to painters. I've done painting. I've done construction. Asbestos is fake. It was just a big scam. So that the same thing that they want to do with the Green New Deal, they want to refurbish all the buildings with green energy stuff and not have them run off. They did the same thing back then. It's just a way that companies can make a lot of money. They say there's poisonous asbestos in the paint and the insulation. And so then we have to go in and re-insulate everything and repaint everything and scrape all the paint off and paint everything. The paint companies make a bunch of money. The insulation companies make a bunch of money. Government contractors make a bunch of money off of doing this. Asbestos was a scam. It's not real. Sorry, guys. Next. Archaeologists discover Sodom and Gomorrah was funded by USAID. Sodom and Gomorrah was funded by USAID? Dang.
Beta.
Next. You know how I know that? I know it's true.
You ain't got the answers, man. I've been doing this more than you. You ain't been doing the education.
You ain't been doing the education. That's why you think asbestos was real. Because I've been doing this more than you. You ain't got the answers. I've been doing the education. Think I'm crazy. Look into it. Damn, we all got scammed again. An old man I worked with absolutely loved asbestos. He said it was the best thing ever. Yeah, remember, when you were on the call, I think, when we were talking to, I can't remember his name, but he was an old guy, and he had been painting his whole life, and he was like, yeah, asbestos is bullshit. It was a lie. He's like, I'll eat asbestos. And yeah, it's like poison ivy. You know, poison ivy, you'll get a bad reaction a couple times, but you build up immunities to it. You can dang eat some asbestos. You'd be all right. I shouldn't say that on the internet. That's a joke, YouTube. Don't eat asbestos. It should be obvious that I'm joking about eating asbestos, but I am serious that it was a scam. Next. I'm all for making America. Okay, so this is a meme. Stubber one sent me a bunch of these memes, which tells me his libertarian side is showing, and he wants me to address this because he sent me a bunch of memes about this. I'm all for making America great, but confused on how taking over the Gaza Strip is our business. Let's get our own situation straight first before we start tackling the world's. Okay, let me respond to this. We're not leveling Gaza and building a McDonald's to save Israel. We're doing it because Trump has never seen a piece of real estate he didn't like. So you could just look at that as Trump doing that, you know, because he wants Gaza. He wants to build a Riviera over there in the Middle East. Don't look at it as a geopolitical move. Just look at it as Trump buying some land for a new hotel. You know, I'm all right with it. I saw that guy hold a thin sheet of asbestos in his bare hands and put a blowtorch to it, no heat. Yeah, breathing in the fumes, totally fine. Yeah, don't eat asbestos. It's a joke. You can't eat it, but it's not going to kill you either if you happen to breathe some in. I've worked in buildings, old buildings that have asbestos paint, and I've not worn a mask, and then look at me, I'm fine. I'm totally not like retarded. So you'd be all right. Didn't lose their passport. So if Trump wants to take over the Gaza Strip and Greenland and the Panama Canal and rename the Gulf of Mexico and Mount McKinley, I'm with it. We can, let him buy up his land. And also, people need to understand, sometimes he's just making threats so that people act right. He's just saying things so that people act right, and it works. When he did his tariffs on Mexico and Canada, they bent the knee. When he says, I'm going to buy Gaza and I'm going to level it and build a McDonald's, they bend the knee. So calm down, guys. Trust the plan. Trust the plan. Next. How it started, Leah Thomas winning the swimming contest, beating all these women. How it's going. Look at all these little girls. There's a video of Trump, and there's like this Down syndrome girl, and she's talking to him, and she's like, I like your hair. I don't want to do an impression of her. It would be rude. But she's like, I like your hair. It's just like my dad's hair. It's really nice and gold and shiny. And Trump's like, oh, nice. And then she's like, and he starts to keep talking to the crowd, and she's like, and so she just keeps talking. And so he pauses, stops everything, and listens to her. And she's like, my dad died, and he loved you. And Trump is like, your dad is in heaven, and he's looking down at you, and he's very proud of you. You're a shining example. You're a great person. And the media doesn't show you that crap. Not crap. The media doesn't show you that morsel of excellency and beauty. The media shows you, they'll clip out the worst thing. They won't show you, how great of a nice guy he is. They won't show you this. Look at all these little girls as he signs the bill. Oh, you mean I can actually get a scholarship to college because men aren't getting them for the women's swim team and the women's track and field and the women's weightlifting and the women's chess team? I don't have to lose my scholarship to a man anymore? Thank you, Don. Thank you, Don. Gaza will be the Disney of the Mideast. Oh, wait, Dubai is that already? Well, we're going to make another one. We're going to have another Dubai. We're going to have American Dubai in Gaza. I'd have a problem with it because Trump is not the judge of who goes to heaven. I don't know what that's in reference to. Next. Oh, talking about the little girl? Man. So you have a problem with him saying to a Down syndrome girl, your dad is looking down on you from heaven and he's smiling right now? You have a problem with that? That's weird. That's weird, Elderline. Like, come on, man. Anyway. The media would burst into flames if they mentioned God. Wait, it's all funded with U.S. taxpayer money? Always has been. Bro, if you shot a gun in space, you would fly backwards forever. You'd never stay. You'd just be... Oh, shoot. I just knocked the laser off my Millennium Falcon Death Star satellite. Shoot, now I broke the whole thing off. Come on, Lego. Lego my ego. I gotta fix my Millennium Falcon. Dang it. Go on there. I don't have time for this right now. Just go over there. You guys are being like retarded right now. That's so dumb. For Trump to say to a little girl who's talking about her dead father, he's looking down on you from heaven. And if you have a problem with that, you guys are being like retarded right now. That's so dumb. Come on. Jeez Louise. What is wrong with you guys? Next. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Terrorists, Usaid. I don't know if this picture's real. But, whatever. All right. Well, keep talking about it. It's dumb. Usaid. Usaid. A picture is worth 1,000 words. I don't know if this is real, but it probably is. Some dang habibis with rocket launchers paid for by Usaid. Next. Federal workers getting fired for refusing the vaccine. Yay! Federal workers getting fired for wasting tax dollars. No. Dun, dun, dun. Next. Okay, keep talking about it. You're making yourself look dumb. S.E. Robinson Jr., Big Balls deserves a second chance. Seriously, though, have a talk about the racist stuff. Not cool. Elon Musk says true. Jeremy Kauffman says the Doge staffer said civil rights law should be repealed. I agree. Immigration policy should improve the quality of people in a country. I agree. He prefers to marry someone of his own ethnicity. I agree. Can you clarify which of these is inappropriate? Well, they probably would, all of these. They have a problem with all of these. They think civil rights is the best thing to ever happen to black people. They think we should let all of the immigrants over, even if they're illegal diaper snipers. And you have to marry somebody diverse, equitable, and inclusive. Next. Not my president. Not my president. Not my president. Not my residence. Shout out Trump.
It's a man, baby.
All right, guys in chat, you're being super
beta
right now. I don't know about you, but you sound like
no offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
That's what I'm seeing in chat. Next. Representative Mike Collins. I got laid off. So do you ever say God bless you to anybody? I hope you guys never say God bless you to somebody. Representative Mike Collins. I got laid off at Usaid today. I was in charge of making the Taliban trans. Was really starting to make headway too. Maybe they'll still cut their dicks off down the road. You've got to stay positive. Dang. Dang. Next. Canadian school cancels event with ISIS survivor Nadia Murad because her harrowing description of torture and rape would be offensive to Muslims and foster Islamophobia. Wow. Wow. This poor girl, she can't tell her story. She can't tell her story because it would foster hate. Dang. Next. Hey, you, do you always wear that mask? Foreign aid. Take the mask off, foreign aid. Money laundering. Let's keep this on. It's money laundering.
No, that doesn't work either.
Next. This is why liberals are so mad about Elon and Trump shutting down USAID. Commies, they got Chavez shirt, or who's this? Is this guy's name? Something Chavez. They got a bunch of dang commie fists in the air. They got their masks on though, so everybody's safe. They're not 6 feet apart. Bunch of foreigners holding up commie fists wearing Chavez shirts. Brought to you by Usaid.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Next. Woman arrested for cheating on the boss's desk after winning the lottery. I wasn't going to include this one, but I did include it. You know why? Because we know dang well the lottery's not real. It's a scam. It's fake. So this lady just pooped on her boss's desk for no reason.
It's a man, baby.
Next. If only California had prioritized grooming all of the vegetation over grooming all of the kids, then we wouldn't have fire. We wouldn't have all those fires. Are you guys still going on about that? That's crazy. That's crazy. That is really crazy. You're like blowing my mind right now. Like, bro, come on. That's the stuff that's the type of thing that like will turn people off. I know you don't care, but that's crazy. Trump says your dad is smiling down on you from heaven, and you're taking it way too far. That's wild. Next. Give a Democrat a fish and he'll eat for a day. Teach a Democrat to fish and he'll steal your rod, take your wallet, sexually assault the fish, and then blame President Trump. Wait, you told us you were leaving just to take a pee? Oh, wait, that's John Desmond, not John Mosman. I thought because Mosman said, see you later, gotta go. And then I see John Desmond saying I had to piss and grab a drink. I was like, I thought you were Mosman. Next. No one. Female Black Hawk pilots when they're flying straight towards an airplane. Oh, no. Oh, no. Too soon. Too soon.
No, that doesn't work either.
Next. The McRib is back. Stop calling me that. Look at Adam calling Eve the McRib. The McRib is here. The McRib is here. Adam. Next. The perfect lipstick for women pastors. Gorilla Glue. Perfect. We got to get through these quicker. Let's go next. Instead of killing millions of chickens because of bird flu, couldn't we just lock them down in the coop for 2 weeks to flatten the curve? Yeah. Just separate them 6 feet, give them a mask, and lock them down for 2 weeks or 2 years. Flatten the curve. Next. Okay, stubborn one. Are you here? This is the one I wanted to get to. Check this out. Someone designed this, then someone else approved it. Uranus. Do you want to see something crazy? Check this out. This is my National Geographic Space Atlas. I have a bookmark. Check this out. I've got the book. It's not the same exact book, but I've got it, stubborn one. That's Uranus, guys. Insert here. Insert here. It's not a meme. It's real life. I've got it. That's cool. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I think I have that book. And it's not the exact same book, but it's pretty close. Look, here's mine. And here's the meme. I'm a space believer, guys. I believe in space. I got books. Spectacular. That's awesome. Okay. Are we done with the memes? Yes, that's it for the memes.
You ain't got the answers, man. I've been doing this more than you. You ain't been doing the education.
Bro. You ain't been doing the education. That's a book. It's a big old book right there. Okay. I want to get to the dang feral children. But we got some rapid fire to do real quick. Some rapid fire news. Hold on. Open all these. All right, first, we got some funny videos to watch before we get to this. Some rapid news, some stories. Check this out. Look at this robotic arm. Bro clicked the wrong button on his robotic arm. This is what Elon's working on.
Oui, attendez, parce que je mets... Attendez, parce qu'il y a mon aide-soignant qui est pas... Est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider? Ouais, voilà. Parce que c'est de... Je vais essayer. Ouais. Non, ah non, visiblement, ça ne marche pas. C'est la 2.
Wait, that wasn't the whole thing.
Oui, attendez, parce que je mets... Attendez, parce qu'il y a mon aide-soignant qui est pas... Est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider? Ouais, voilà. Parce que c'est de... Je vais essayer. Ouais. Non, ah non, visiblement, ça ne marche pas. C'est la 2.
Okay. What the... Dang, the robo jerker. We ended the memes with Uranus. That's right. I'm giving you Theo Von meme. Somebody, when I did my Dragon Ball Super channel, the card game video or the card game videos. I used to do. I have another YouTube channel called Dragon Ball Junkie, and it's all about video games and Dragon Ball Super card game. And somebody said, "You're the Theo Von of Dragon Ball Super card game." I was like, "Hey, I like that. I appreciate that." What else we got? Bob
Go
Memory.
over to Lauren, back to Tanya. Not even fucking close. What a disaster. And now she's having a panic attack. I think she's throwing up gang signs. She is panicking. The worst air ball we've ever seen, maybe in the history of basketball. Wide fucking open and wide left. My goodness.
Actually, maybe the time was running out on the clock, so she just did that to get the ball away so the other team couldn't get it. Maybe. Or she thinks she made the shot. I don't know why she felt accomplishment from that, but Tom Browdy. We played that video once.
Finally back?
No. Yeah.
It's always a negative person.
He's talking about COVID. He's like, "Aren't you glad that we're finally back from COVID?"
It'll never be the same. You said it's not back? What's missing? Everything? Like what? Come on, that's too, you gotta give me specific. What is something that you had before COVID, you don't have it right now? And he's like, yo, come on.
Family.
Wait.
Whoops.
I'm sorry. My fault. I'm sorry for your loss. My fault. You know what? We could talk about other shit. It's cool. I forgot that was the big part of the whole. That was the main issue. You know what? See, that's why we ask questions, so we can learn not to. Again, like, it's not funny. Stop laughing. Family.
He said, "What'd you lose that you can't get back from COVID?" She's like, "Family." Damn. Whoops. All right, what is this one? Why is it not playing? What's it doing? Okay. Look at Grandma. Hold on, one more time. It's a boy or is it a girl?
Hey.
Watch Grandma. Boom! Grandma just got blasted.
Bienvenida, señora.
Oh, it's chopping up. You get the point. She just blasted Grandma in the face with some dang. It's a boy. We lost Grandma. We lost Grandma. Okay, this one's all choppy. Choppy. It's getting choppy. All right. All right, let's talk about this Super Bowl. The super flop. Eagles won the Super Bowl. Apparently, it was the worst game a lot of people have ever seen at a Super Bowl in their lives. Total domination by the Eagles. I'm okay with that because I'm primarily a Bucs fan, but my backup teams are the Falcons and the Eagles because I got friends and family from Philadelphia and Atlanta. Check. So Eagles won. Chiefs look like rookies. Game sucked. Reload stream chat. Hello. Seems to be working now. It looks like it's working on my end. Could be something with the internet. I don't know. Everything looks good now. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. I think, okay, it's good. Thumbs up. We got thumbs up. So as far as the game, I didn't even watch the game. I was sleeping. I usually watch the Super Bowl, but I couldn't this year. But I'm happy the Eagles won. But let's talk about this halftime show. A lot of people upset. A lot of people pissed off. A certain demographic of Americans, specifically white boomers, white boomer ladies are upset. So I'm going to give you guys my take, and I know a lot of y'all aren't going to like it, and I don't care. I thought it was all right. I like rap music, though. I'm not a huge Kendrick fan, but he's all right. I like Kendrick, but I don't like him a lot. I think he's a little overrated. And I've seen him freestyle, and he sucks. He's one of the worst freestyles I've ever seen. I think he probably doesn't write all of his music. I have a feeling. Because he's with Dr. Dre and all them. Do you know Eminem used to write Dr. Dre's lyrics, and then he would record them as Dr. Dre? He would record Dr. Dre's song. He would write Dr. Dre's songs for like the Chronic album. Not the original Chronic album, Chronic 2001. Eminem wrote like all of those songs, that all of Dr. Dre's lyrics on that album, Eminem wrote them. And then he would record them with Dr. Dre's voice. So Eminem would write the song, then he would record it as Dr. Dre, and then Dr. Dre would just memorize it and rap it. So I'm thinking Eminem just writes everybody's lyrics. He won 5 Grammys. He has a Pulitzer Prize? What? I know he won 5 Grammys, but I've heard Kendrick freestyle, and I understand some rappers aren't freestyle rappers, but if you write as much as Kendrick writes, allegedly, then you should just be able to freestyle some of your own lyrics and mix them together. You know, stuff that you have memorized, you rap a couple bars, then you do some little connectors, and then you rap some other bars from another song that you memorized, and you put it together, and you make it fluid, and you should just be able to do it if you're really writing that much. I don't think Kendrick is writing his own music, but maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. But he was at the Super Bowl halftime show. Allegedly, there was a Palestinian protester. I think this story is fake. Super Bowl 2025, protester holds Palestinian flag during Kendrick Lamar's halftime show. So somehow this guy got onto the stage at the Super Bowl, stood on the car that was the centerpiece of the show, and held a Palestinian flag, and then security agents came and walked him off. I think this was set up because, you know, these people all are with that Gaza stuff, supporting Gaza, and want to put out a little political message. So I think this was all planned. It was planned for this guy to do it and some guys in suits to come and walk him off the stage so that they could report on it. But the other crazy part, a lot of Americans are like, we're tired of seeing rap in the Super Bowl. And I can agree with them on that. It's been multiple years in a row. You know, we can't. There was a meme that said Trump signs executive orders to make Kid Rock official Super Bowl halftime show from now on. I'd be okay with it. Like, it seems like we can't get any, dare I say, white people at the Super Bowl anymore at the halftime show. What have the last years been? Like Shakira, Chris Brown, Beyonce, Kendrick. We can't have no dang, I don't know, AC/DC or like Metallica or real country music anymore. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't. What have the last 4 Super Bowls been? Maybe I'm wrong. But it seems to be all urban music now. And some people are getting tired of it. They're like, can we, we're okay with, having a Shakira or a Beyonce, but every now and then, can we get like a Kid Rock or, something like that? Kid Rock pushed out because no one clapped. I think they should only sing half of each song since it's the halftime show. Well, they do. They don't do any full songs, but and I saw like my mom and my aunt. They're like, "This is dumb. We can't understand any of it. He's mumbling." Okay, Kendrick is not mumble rap. Kendrick has some pretty complex lyrics that I don't think he writes, but he's not a mumble rapper. The reason you can't understand it is because he's on a stage rapping and he's got to edit out every other word. So, and then I saw some guy like, he snuck some F-bombs in there. he did not sneak any F-bombs in there. He edited all the cuss words out. I listened to it. What they think was F-bombs was when he was saying funk. PM to the AM funk. Still ride with Mercedes funk. That part, they thought he was dropping F-bombs. He's saying funk. But the craziest part was that he did Not Like Us. And the whole audience, everyone in the audience called Drake a PDF file. Which there was a case, a defamation case against Kendrick for that song. I don't know how he got away with it. And the whole stadium said A minor. So he smuggled some F-bombs in. You'll have to clip it and send it to me because I listened to it this morning and I didn't hear any. I don't know if you were hearing when he said funk, but I know the songs and I know the lyrics and I listened to it and I didn't hear any. So, and I have a pretty good ear for it. But maybe I missed some. Did you see the flag that was used? Oh, no, I'm kidding. Okay. Did you see the flags that was used? I did see the lady that was crip walking. That was Serena Williams or is that who it was? Or Venus or Serena Williams? One of them tennis players. And apparently Drake used to like stalk her and hit on her all the time, and she never gave him any play, allegedly. Yeah, Serena Williams. Tennis champion Serena Williams. So while he's singing Not Like Us, Serena Williams, who Drake used to hit on, probably when she was pretty young, was crip walking on Drake's name. Drake dated her. And then what? And then they broke up and he was stalking her? Because I heard he was like stalking her and being a creeper. And I don't know if all the allegations against Drake are true, but they probably are, considering all the Diddy stuff. And if you listen to some of the lyrics in his songs, there's a lot of little morsels of PDF file stuff, you know? Always talking about I got a young one and the girl in high school when he'd go to the high school. There's a lot of questionable lyrics, but anyway, I like rap music. I thought it was a decent halftime show, but you couldn't understand a lot of what he was saying because they're very quick lyrics and there's a lot of cuss words that he had to edit out. So it did sound kind of unlegible at points or inaudible. A lot of times you couldn't understand what he was saying. But he's not a mumble rapper. And I didn't hear him sneak any F-bombs in. And it was pretty wild that he had the whole audience calling Drake a PDF file. That was pretty crazy. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that. Hegseth nixes Identity Month celebrations at the Department of Defense on eve of Black History Month.
This Pentagon Snap 2 last week, we helped move forward troops with the protection of the sovereign territory.
Secretary has that Peter.
The war fighters are ready to go. If you see what the president said last week in his executive orders.
Actually, this video is unrelated to the story. Anyway, the point of the story is for the military, the Department of Defense, the military, all that, Pete Hegseth has ended any sort of government funding for Pride Month, Black History Month. That the people can still celebrate, the soldiers and the people in the government, they can still celebrate it if they want. I heard some people saying he canceled Black History Month for the whole country. That's not true. That's fake news, but he canceled it. He canceled any government funding going for these celebrations in the military and in the Department of Defense. We're not paying for gay parades in the military anymore. We're not paying for women's history in the military and in the Department of Defense. Black History Month, Latin American Heritage History Month. So let's go. Based Pete. Based Pete. Other cultural awareness months getting the axe include Women's History Month in March, Pride Month in June, National Hispanic Heritage Month from mid-September to mid-October, and National Disability Employment Awareness Month in October. That's when my birthday is. National Disability Employment Awareness Month. Hey, you know, if mental illness is real, I'm probably a little disabled. So I can celebrate that on my birthday. Redirect. We had another plane go down. Things like this happen in threes. Shootings, terrorist attacks, and in this case, plane crashes. So we got the third this week. Alaskan Airlines plane went missing over Alaska. Actually, a plane went missing over Alaska. And for a while, nobody could find it. They ended up finding it. All 10 people aboard a small plane that went missing and was later discovered crashed in Alaska have been confirmed dead. The Alaskan Department of Public Safety said Saturday that all aboard the plane, 9 passengers and 1 pilot, died. The plane had been traveling from Unalakleet to Nome on Thursday when it went missing. It was found crashed on Friday. Alaskan state troopers positively identified all 10 victims on the plane after they were recovered and brought to Nome, Alaska DPS said in a statement. The dead were identified as pilot Chad Antill, 34 of Nome, Leanne Ryan, 52 of Wasilla, Donnell Erickson, 58 of Nome, Andrew Gonzalez, 30 of Wasilla, Cameron Hartvigsen, 41 of Anchorage, Rome Baumgartner, 46 of Anchorage, J.D. Moncure, 52 of Eagle River, Ian Hoffman, 45 of Anchorage, Talaluk Katchaktag, 34 of Unakalit, and Carol Moores, 48 of Unakalit. So rest in peace to those people. Sorry about that. But yeah, another plane went down. They happen in threes. These things come in threes. It's synchronicity, serendipity, something like that. Something like that. 3 months been there like 9, LOL. That many special months. There's a lot more than that, Dean. There's one every month. There's Intersex Awareness Month. There's a bunch of them. Asian History Month. All of them. Everything you can think of, they got a month for it. Not anymore. All we got now is July, which is White History Month, because July just feels white. The heist of 1,000 eggs in Pennsylvania becomes a whodunit that police have yet to crack. Somebody stole 100,000 eggs. That's freaking gold. The heist of 100,000 eggs from the back of a trailer in Pennsylvania has become a whodunit that police have yet to crack. 4 days after the theft that law enforcement say, and this is probably part of the whole scam. Oh, bird flu, let's murder all the chickens. Let's set up a CIA op to steal 100,000 eggs in Pennsylvania so that we can make egg prices go up more so we can make Trump look bad. It's a big scam. It's a big scam. They don't want Americans to think that Trump is doing a good job. Biden got the egg prices up to $7.50 for 12. They're currently $5.50 at the store that I go to. So they're still not as high as the peak under Biden. But none of the other food prices going up. It's just the eggs. Remember, we reported a while ago about all the chicken farms that were suddenly getting lit on fire? Egg heists are a thing now. Yeah, people jacking all the eggs. But, like, I don't think this is like an individual that's like, man, I really need 100,000 eggs. I think it's some sort of op to hurt the egg economy more, to make people think less of Trump. We're relying on leads from people from the community, so we're hoping that somebody knows something and they'll call us and give us some tips. Just the tip. Police are also following up with any possible witnesses and looking into surveillance footage that could help them identify the perpetrator as they race to solve the mystery. In my career, I've never heard of 100,000 eggs being stolen. This is definitely unique, says Frazier, who has a dozen years on the job. A dozen? Like a dozen eggs? Bird flu is forcing farmers to slaughter millions of chickens a month, pushing the U.S. egg prices to more than double their costs in the summer of 2023, and it appears there may be no release in sight with Easter approaching. Yep. So Easter's going to be pagan, and they're going to make sure you can't afford any eggs to paint. Yep. They hate Americans. Average price per dozen eggs nationwide is $4.15. That is not quite as high as the $4.82 record set 2 years ago. They were $7.50 here. So we're still not beating Biden's record 2 years later. And if inflation's a thing, we should technically be higher than Biden's peak if it's really a bad event. But this is bird flu. They're just killing all the chickens, and we're still not as high as Biden had it. So just relax. You know, have faith. Plastic eggs for the win. Now I really got to make a big omelet. It's going to be a valuable omelet. Christopher Nolan's got a new movie coming out called The Odyssey. And it's star-studded. It's got everybody in this movie. God dang. And it's the Odyssey of Homer's Odyssey. So, and I love Christopher Nolan movies. It looks pretty good, but you know who's in it? Dang old Elliot Page. Christopher Nolan likes to use some of the same actors he's used before. He used Ellen Page in Inception. And now we're going to have Elliot Page in The Odyssey. I'm sure Elliot's going to be a strapping soldier that's going to take out a giant, fight a Cyclops. Maybe Elliot's going to dispatch with Medusa.
This will be a change.
Even the sweetest
What is this?
can be complicated. They go
What is
through
this?
your
Okay, I got to get off this
More
website.
than 950 million returns filed.
Get out of here with that. But yeah, star-studded cast. I can't read through the cast for you because they started playing some ad. But lots of people in this movie, including Elliot, gonna destroy a 50-foot Cyclops. Because that's a strong man.
It's a man, baby.
Elliot Page. Elliot Page.
No, that doesn't work either.
Okay. Man arrested over allegedly assaulting a priest at the Church of the Holy Spirit. Is it allegedly when you have it on video? In Singapore. Let's watch this video.
People rushing to help the...
So this guy in Singapore ran up on the dang priest and attacked him. Let's watch this from NBC. Damn.
Father David...
Father David took that shot like a man. He dodged and then he did the takedown. Excellent. I approve of Father David.
Assaulted in the middle of service Tuesday night.
All right, just calm down.
People rushing to help the priest.
Father David got that man
was able to kind of deflect the blows.
In a clinch.
But it was certainly very, it was a scary moment.
Security guards detaining the suspect and walking him out of the nave.
Thank God no one was injured.
The suspect is Joshua Summers. He's homeless.
He's homeless. Joshua, JS. He's a hobo named JS. Damn it. Giving me a bad name out here. What are you doing?
No, he just sat there. I didn't even notice him, really.
Summers is charged with fourth-degree assault. He was scheduled to make his first court appearance Wednesday, but refused to go. Summers was also scheduled to attend a second court hearing on an unrelated assault charge. That also didn't
this JS hobo guy is just walking around assaulting people left and right.
happen.
After he was let out in handcuffs, we all got on our knees and we prayed for him.
So let's say a Hail Mary for that disturbed gentleman.
Father Darren Connell says churches have become a soft target in recent years.
We now have, 2 summers ago,
hobos.
A man hid in there and ended up molesting one of our parishioners, a little boy.
The suspect in that crime still awaiting trial.
Oh, but you won't hear any liberals talk about that. They'll talk about how the priests do all this stuff to children, but you're not going to hear any liberals bring up the hobo that snuck into the church and molested the... Yeah, you're not going to hear about that.
There's been a number of other crimes at this church over the years.
And we spend tens of thousands of dollars a year on fencing and alarms and locks and security cameras.
The church even hiring a security guard.
Satan's busy. Satan's busy.
Guard for Sunday service.
People are addicted, so we see a lot of addiction around here. people are mentally ill.
Father Connell's message for some.
Father, you know they're spiritually ill. They're spiritually ill. It's not their brain that's the problem. It's their soul that's the problem. They've been given over to a reprobate mind. Not a mind as in a brain, but a mind as in the metaphysical spirit and soul of them is dark.
Summers.
I want him to find the healing that he needs, and we forgive him.
Thanks for watching.
Oh, but only God forgives. They can't forgive him. Only God forgives. I forgot to do one bit. I had a bit about Kendrick. I was going to say, you know how all these people like grandstand and virtue signal and pearl clutch about rap music? They're like, it's spreading degeneracy. They talk about drugs and having sex with women. It's so degenerate. And it was like, bro, your favorite artist was biting bat heads off of bats and spitting it on the crowd and taking dumps in buckets and throwing it on the crowd. Like, come on. Like, white people got some degenerate music too. It's not just rap music. Anyway, that's it for all the news, guys. We got one last little segment here. We're going to talk about feral children. I used to go to church and fart in the coat closet. What a degen. What's wrong with you, John? What are you doing? Why would you do such a thing? That's Satan. That was Satan working on you, boy. The power of Christ compels you. So, Speakeasy was talking about this in a panel the other day, and I was like, that's an interesting topic. I like it. I like it. We're going to talk about the feral children. Some of them raised by animals. Some of them not raised at all. Just left alone. Sad stories. So, feral child or a wild child is a young individual who has lived isolated from human contact from a very young age with little or no experience of human care, social behavior, or language. Such children lack the basics of primary and secondary socialization. So you can see this in animals too. You can see this in animals too. If you raise a cat, and don't do this. I would never do this. This is horrible, by the way, for all the cat people on the internet. I know the internet will come after you if you do something wrong to a cat. I love Ozzy, you know. But if you raise a cat, if you put a kitten in a dark place and you raise it in the dark, its eyes will develop, but it won't be able to see. It'll be like blind if you raise a cat in the dark. The Spartans, this is there's no evidence, there's no proof for this. It may be a myth, but it's kind of cool to think of that the Spartans were such great warriors because the children, as soon as the kid was born, they'd say, okay, this one's going to be a worker. This one's going to be a warrior. This one we're going to throw off the cliff. They would figure that out at birth. But the warriors, what they would do is they would isolate them. Very minimal, no mother, take them from the mother. Don't show them any love. Don't show them any affection. No human contact except for feeding and giving them some milk, you know, very minimal contact. And what this did is they didn't develop a sense of emotion or touch or feel. They couldn't feel emotionally or physically. They didn't have a sense of pain or a sense of feeling. So it made them great warriors, but it also had a downside. If they get shot in the back with an arrow, they would just keep fighting and bleed out because they didn't even know that they were hit with a dang arrow. So anyway, that's what happens with these feral kids is they end up not developing language, not developing emotions. They get desensitized. But some of them are raised by animals, allegedly. So feral children lack basic social skills that are normally learned in the process of enculturation. For example, they may be unable to learn to use a toilet, have trouble learning to walk upright after walking on all fours for their whole lives, or display a complete lack of interest in the human activity around them. They often seem mentally impaired and have almost insurmountable trouble learning a human language. The impaired ability to learn a natural language after having been isolated for so many years is often attributed to the existence of a critical period of language learning and taken as evidence in favor of the critical period hypothesis. There is little scientific knowledge about feral children. One of the best cases is Amala and Kamala. Kamala was a feral child. I knew it. Bruno Bettelheim and Jeannie. We're going to watch a little video of Jeannie, but I want to read this. Journalistic accounts of children raised by animals. Lucas, a native South American boy who was nurtured by a group of baboons, was found in 1903. Marina Chapman claimed to have lived with weepy capuchin monkeys in the Colombian jungle from the age of 5 to about 9 following a botched kidnapping in about 1954. She got picked up in a van, and then I guess, I don't know, we're going to watch a little video about Marina here, so we'll find out more. But I think she got like grabbed up, put in a van, and then escaped the van, and some monkeys found her and saved her. But then she was very monkey-like afterwards. Monkeys, capuchins. Yeah. We're talking feral children. Where are these kids? Well, so some of the kids raised by animals, some people think they're myths or they're urban legends or they're made up, they're hoaxes. There are a lot of examples of hoaxes of this stuff. But some of these kids are documented. So like the story of Jeannie, we're going to watch a video. It's been 10 years and there's videos of her grown up now. And she seems happy. She still can't talk. Some of these stories are really sad because it's like kids that are like abandoned and stuff. This sounds racist. Robert Mayana lost his parents in the Uganda Civil War at the age of 3 when Milton Obote's soldiers raided their village around 50 miles from Kampala. Robert then survived in the wild, presumably with vervet monkeys for 3 years until he was found by soldiers of the National Resistance Army. There was a boy, Mithian or Mifune. In 1987, a boy who was 5 years old was found after spending a year in the company of monkeys. He was given the name Saturday after the day he was found. Mithian was the name of the headmistress of the special school which took him in. At the age of 17, he still could not walk and still walked and jumped like a monkey. He never ate cooked food and refused to share or play with other children. In 2005, he was killed in a fire. John Sesbunya from Uganda was a toddler when his father killed his mother and hanged himself. Instead of going into a care facility, he went to live with vervet monkeys. These vervet monkeys are out here saving children's lives. For 2 years, he learned how to forage and travel. The monkeys protected him in the wild. When he was around 7 years old, he was brought back to civilization. According to a local villager, where he was a child, the only forms of communication he was capable of was crying and demanding food. He was a wild boy whom everyone feared. He has since gained full speech abilities and has also twice competed in the Special Olympics for Uganda. Bro, they got a monkey boy in the Olympics, Special Olympics in Uganda. How are these kids going to compete with a dang wild child? We got examples of some kids who were raised by wolves. Hessian wolf children lived with Eurasian wolf in the forests of Hesse. The first boy was taken by the wolves at the age of 3 and found when 7 or 8 of Benedictine monks, the wolves having cared for him by surrounding him in cold weather and fed him the best meat from the hunt. He was later sent to the court of Prince Harry and became accustomed to human society, but said he preferred the wolves. Second boy resisted capture, biting and scratching. Hasnunapur, the wolf boy, wandered into town at the age of 12, raised by wolves, dark-skinned, covered in short hair. He ate both cooked and raw meat. He soon learned to walk and understood hand signs, but never spoke. He often sat in a shop in the town bazaar where his parents recognized him and took him back. His further fate is unknown. Dina Sanikar, discovered among wolves in a cave in Sikandra in 1872 at the age of 6. He went to live among humans for over 20 years, including picking up smoking, but never learned to speak and remained seriously impaired for his entire life. But he knew how to smoke a cigarette. That makes sense. Marcos Rodriguez Pantoja. We got some people raised by dogs. Ivan Mishkutov in Russia, rescued by police in 1998 from wild dogs, with whom he lived with for 2 years. He ran from his mother and her abusive alcoholic boyfriend at the age of 4. He earned the dogs' trust by giving them food, and in return, the dogs protected. This sounds nonsense. The boy has risen to being alpha male of the pack. When the police found him, they set a trap for him and the dogs by leaving food in the restaurant kitchen. Because he had lived among the dogs for only 2 years, he relearned language fairly rapidly. He studied in military school and served in the Russian army. We got a 10-year-old Chilean boy called the Dog Boy. He was rescued in 2001 after living with street dogs for 2 years. Diogenes the dog, the father of cynicism, Greek philosopher, he lived with dogs. They called him Diogenes the dog because he just went out and lived with the dogs, and he was a philosopher. He came up with cynicism, which is the idea that everything sucks, everything's horrible, there's no point. Let's just all go live on the streets with the dogs. He was the first troll. He would go up in I forget what time period it was, but whatever philosophers were big at the time, like Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, when they would be in the atriums doing their like philosophizing to the people, speaking to the people, he would sit in the crowd and just burp and fart the whole time, or stand up and like drop a deuce in the middle of the audience and just laugh, just troll the philosophers. And he'd be like, none of this matters, and drop a dump in the middle of the audience. Bro, dude was crazy. That's some trolling. That's some real trolling. Raised by Wolves, that's a TV show, but the wolves were aliens. Spoiler alert. Well, I guess I'm not going to watch that show. Raised by Bears? We got a 15-year-old Danish boy was found to have been living with bears in a wooded area. This is BS. You can't just hang out with some bears. And reported upon being distinguishable from the bears, not distinguishable from the bears except by his shape. He later learned to speak, but claimed to have no memory of his time with the bears. The 3 Lithuanian bear boys, 1657, 1669, and 1694. Serge Aroles shows from the archives of the Queen of Poland that these are false. So the bear boys are false. We got a Bamberg boy who grew up with cattle in the region's mountains, and in the 16th century was later brought to the Prince of Bamberg's court. He initially continued his wild behavior, such as chasing and fighting dogs on all fours, but eventually accustomed to human society, and he later married. We got Daniel the Goat Boy. In 1990, Daniel the Andes Goat Boy. He lived in the wild for 8 years. He was discovered in the mountains of Peru and was raised by goats and llamas. I bet he probably spit everywhere, too. He walked and ran on all fours with mountain goats, and he drank goat's milk and ate berries and roots. Who's this Casper? Peter the Wild Boy, mentally disabled boy with Pitt-Hopkins syndrome. 2 Pyrenean boys would run along the mountains on all fours and leap from one rock to another like chamois. They were found on the French side of the range. Very little details available. The girl of Issox, lost in the woods with Pyrenees friends at the age of 8 and found at the age of 16 by a group of shepherds. She did not like human society and wished to return to the woods. So, lots of examples of these. Lots of them have proven to be hoaxes, but a lot of them are modern and they're real stories. Let's watch this little video real quick.
5 shocking stories of feral children. Marina Chapman. She could feel 2 arms yanking her. 1 minute, she was in her family's vegetable garden. The next, she was in the back of a speeding van. Marina Chapman had just turned 5 years old when she was taken from her home in Colombia in 1955. Inside the van, there were other children whimpering and crying, and out of fear, Marina blacked out. When she came to, she realized she was being carried deep inside the Colombian jungle. Then a sound came, and the man carrying her dropped her on the ground and ran away, abandoning the girl entirely. At first, she didn't know what to do, so she dug a little hole and cuddled there for the night. It was soon clear to the young child that no one was coming back for her. She wandered around the dangerous jungle looking for sanctuary, and that's when she came across a group of capuchin monkeys.
Look at the capuchins. Look at these little guys.
The monkeys didn't care much for her at first, the little girl became fascinated with them and decided to stay close by. She then survived by mimicking what the monkeys did.
Okay, that picture is fake. She's not dang Mowgli from the Jungle Book, but the other picture was a real picture. And apparently this is a true story.
She scoured food, learned to climb trees, and how to clean herself.
That's fake.
After spending more than 4 years in the company of the animals, the little girl had lost her capacity to speak. But now she had adopted how the monkeys behaved almost entirely. She began walking on all fours. She also learned how good it felt to be groomed and likened it to getting a massage. Years later, Marina noticed other humans, poachers, coming into the jungle. She was afraid of them, but also came across a group with women in it. They looked kind, so she decided to reveal herself to them and ask for help.
That's from the Jungle Book.
The people that found her were at first...
See, this is a real picture of her. Allegedly.
Shocked to see her. She was about 9 years old by this time, unkempt, naked, and had hair as long as she stood. Eventually, they brought her back to civilization, but there was still a harsh life in front.
Wait, so then if she had hair down to her butt, then is that not a real picture? I thought that was a real picture of her. When you see her in the dress with the pink spots on it, I thought that was a real picture. I don't know. All this is allegedly. I don't really know.
In front of her. The little girl was sold into a brothel in the city of Calcutta.
Damn.
She was beaten regularly and forced.
Bro, this poor girl. She probably want to go back to the dang monkeys. She's getting sold into a brothel and getting beaten. I want to go back to the dang capuchins.
To do work. However, she denied being involved in prostitution. Marina couldn't remember how long she stayed in the brothel, but life was miserable and she decided to escape. The owner, Anna Carmen, was slightly
Yeah, you can't keep a wild girl locked up. She's gonna get out.
Preoccupied when Marina saw her opportunity to leave. After her escape, she became homeless and banded together with other homeless children, surviving by scavenging for food.
Did she teach them how the ways of the monkey?
Stealing money and looking for shelter. She heard from a fellow homeless teen that she could earn money being a maid. Then she landed a job as domestic help, but picked the wrong homeowners. It turns out the family she worked for were notorious criminals. They enslaved her, and she again became a captive.
Dang, poor girl. All right, that's Marina.
During her time there, though, she met a neighbor named Aruja who took pity on the young girl. Aruja bought the girl a ticket to Bogota and arranged for her to live with her daughter. It was here Marina finally began living the life she deserved. Marua's daughter showed Marina the love and affection she was looking for. This family had a successful textile factory and soon moved to Bradford, England, taking Marina with them.
Okay, enough about Marina. Let's look at Oksana Malaya. This is, I used this picture in the thumbnail. Apparently, this is a real picture. This is a real, allegedly, this is a real story.
Walking on all fours, barking and growling. These were all things Oksana Malaya did. Born on November 4th, 1983 in the Ukraine, there was nothing unusual about her birth. But as she grew, her alcoholic parents neglected her. At 3 years old, she was locked out of the house, and her instinct as a child was to find shelter from the cold. She crawled to the nearest shelter she could find, the dog kennel. Despite this, her parents didn't seem to care or even notice she was gone, and the young girl continued to live inside the kennel with the dogs. She then began adopting habits and behaviors similar to the canines. She would chew on their scraps.
So apparently that's the video of this girl.
She then began adopting habits and behaviors similar to the canines. She would chew on their...
I think this is a hoax. Bro, look at that. I don't know. I don't know about this. What do you guys think about dang Oksana?
Scraps, eat raw meat, crawl on all fours, growl and bark. For the next 5 years, it's believed the child was left mostly alone with the animals and had minimal human contact. Oksana did say on occasion she entered her house, but only at certain times. Essentially, because she spent her time with the dogs and identified with them, they too welcomed her into the pack. For years, the child lived in the mindset of an animal.
But that's not, this gotta be fake. That's not walking on all fours. You would have to be on your feet and your hands. She's on her knees. Pause. But that would tear up your knees. That's not how you would walk. You'd walk more like, I don't know.
Animal instead of a human. Finally, though, a neighbor noticed her and her behavior, took pity on her, and called the police. When authorities arrived at the home, Oksana charged at them on all fours, barking like a dog.
Did you see her jump over that log? If you see my camping video with Echo, and I was getting Echo to jump over logs, I was like, come on, Echo, jump. And he's jumping. I was like, good jump. And he was jumping. I was proud of him. Jumping over some logs. It looked just like this.
Human. Finally, though, a neighbor noticed her and her behavior, took pity on her, and called the police. When authorities arrived at the home, Oksana charged at them on all fours, barking like a dog. The other animals also began barking mercilessly, yanking at their chains, hoping to protect the young girl from the police officers. The cops had to distract the other animals using meat so they could retrieve Oksana. The girl was then removed from her parents' home and brought to a place for the mentally handicapped. Doctors were scared she may have suffered too much in her time with the dogs and wondered if she would ever live like a human again, since she had forgotten to walk upright and even how to speak. However, at the orphanage, Oksana surprised them all. It took years of therapy, but she was able to walk upright again.
Allegedly, this one is not a hoax. This is like a true story, supposedly. That's what they say.
She also learned how to speak. She learned how to eat with her hands and began living a life as a girl again.
Wouldn't it be weird, though, to have a pet dog? If you were raised by dogs, wouldn't you want your dog to be free?
Instead of a dog. In 2013, Oksana was interviewed on a Ukrainian TV show and said that she gets offended when people refer to her as the dog girl. She said she simply wants to be treated the same as every other human. She also expressed her interest in finding her biological mother and having more time.
So she must not have been that dang dogified if she could talk, because some of these other kids we're going to see, do they have a Genie in here? Genie is the last one. Genie wasn't raised by animals, though, and he misspelled it. It's with a G.
To spend with her brothers. Number 3, Ivan Mashukov. Known as the Siberian dog boy, Ivan Mashukov was the product of abandonment and neglect. He was born on May 6, 1992 in Rutov, Russia, just a year before the Soviet Union had collapsed and the new independent Russia was still reeling from its effects. The economy was bankrupt, poverty and famine was everywhere. This was the world the young boy was born into. By 1996, the situation hadn't gotten better. The economy saw little improvement, homeless people and broke. The situation was so terrible that even at such a young age, Ivan decided he was better off on his own. He ended up on the cold streets of Moscow, but he did find company with a pack of stray dogs. To survive, the young boy begged for food from passerbys. Instead of eating it all for himself, though, he often shared it with the dogs. This allowed them to take a liking to him, and soon the boy became the leader of the pack. During the harsh Russian winter, with temperatures dropping as low as minus 10 degrees Celsius.
Oh, this is the alpha dog boy.
Dogs helped Ivan to survive. They would surround the boy at night when they had to sleep, and their bodies helped the boy remain warm and protected him from the heavy snow.
So there's actually a true story of this. There was a little girl who got locked out of her house in the winter, and it was freezing and snowing outside. And I don't know if her parents went to bed and didn't know she was outside or something, but she couldn't get into her house. So she crawled into the dog house with their big dog, and the dog cuddled up next to her, and she survived because of the dog. So this does happen. The dogs will, they know. There's like something in them, something God put in a dog, so that if there's a human suffering around, they'll cuddle up with them.
Aside from that, they also help protect their new leader from any dangers on the street. For 2 years, Ivan lived and survived with his pack of stray.
Bro, this is like appealing. I kind of want to do this. jsurbanadventures. We're gonna go live on the streets with a pack of dogs like Diogenes for a year. What do you guys think?
Stray dogs. It wasn't long before stories of the feral child began making the rounds. Police attempted to rescue the boy on 3 separate occasions, but every time his dog pack would always fight them off. The 4th time, however, they finally succeeded. They bribed and fed.
I could see how being called dog girl could be embarrassing.
The stray dogs in a restaurant kitchen in order to get Ivan. The young boy, not understanding what was happening, tried to evade capture and snarled at the officers. However, he was finally taken in by authorities when he was 6 years old.
Canine Adventures.
Unfortunately, Ivan's mother had died 3 months prior to his rescue, so he had to stay at...
God, these poor kids. Everyone dies. They get sold into slavery repeatedly, living with some animals. I'd want to live with the dogs, too. Let's skip ahead to John. The Serbian monkey boy.
Living a life of danger and fear, at a young age, John Sabunya ran away from home and disappeared inside the Ugandan jungle.
Okay, this is racist. This is racist.
The young boy feared for his life when he witnessed his father murder his own mother. No one knows how old John was when he fled into the forest, but many believe he might have been just 3 years old. John then went on to survive by learning from monkeys. He recalled that the monkeys were initially cautious, but eventually they began to approach him, offering him nuts and sweet.
Bro, I don't know if I'm allowed to watch this. Oh, man. Too many jokes. Too many racist jokes. Stop it. Stop it. I don't need the NAACP coming after me.
Sweet potatoes. Shortly after that, they allowed the boy to join them as they roamed around the jungle. They taught him how to climb trees and find foods.
Oh, my God. Bro, who's doing this AI? Who's doing this? This one's much more believable. Oh, no.
So he could survive.
Don't laugh.
In 1991, a tribeswoman named Millie saw John hiding in a tree. She called over the men from the village and asked to help her rescue the boy. Like any animal, though, John resisted capture, and the monkeys he lived with also came to his rescue by throwing sticks at the villagers as they tried to take the boy away. When he was rescued, people couldn't tell if John was even human. They said he had long hair on his head and his face and body was covered in hair. His skin and body were also covered in scars. His knees were almost all white because he had been walking on them, while his nails were curled around. He was also riddled with tapeworms. John was sent to an orphanage and taught how to behave like a human again. Although he suffered from delayed mental development, he was incredibly athletic. In 1999, he ran a...
Oh, no. Something tells me he would have been incredibly athletic even if he wasn't raised by monkeys, but
marathon in the Special Olympics, and in 2003 he became captain of the Ugandan Special Olympics soccer team. Aside from having a great athletic gift, John also hid another talent.
He probably would have been really good at
singer.
basketball. And
he eventually joined the Pearl of Africa Children's Choir and went on to tour in the United Kingdom. Since his rescue, John was taken in by Molly and Paul Waswa, who picked July 3rd to be his official birthday.
Who is this?
Since then, John's unusual story has continued to inspire and be shared all over the world. A BBC documentary was made about his life, and today, John is grateful for his unusual childhood years. He said even though some people wanted him dead after he was rescued for fear he was an evil spirit, he doesn't blame them for the reaction. John also said he is grateful for the monkeys because, as he put it...
Yeah, I bet you he knows what gender he is, so it's not that, you know.
They made it possible for me to be loved by other people, by humans.
The worm.
Number 1, Genie.
This is Genie. This is the most famous one. Look, he spelled it right in his thing, but he spelled it wrong here. Now, if this is the Genie I'm thinking of, she wasn't raised by animals. She was just left alone in the house. I think there's a movie about her named The Girl in the Window.
Called her Genie in a bid to protect her privacy. After decades of abuse and neglect inside her home in Arcadia, California, her story began in 1957 at just 20 months old. Her father was abusive, not only to the children, but also his wife. When Jeannie's older brother John was born, Jeannie's father forced his mother to keep the child quiet, preventing him from developing any linguistic capacities. 5 years after John's birth, Jeannie was born. Jeannie was healthy, but had a congenital hip dislocation and was forced to wear a splint when she was just months old. This later caused her to learn to walk late and made her father think that she was mentally retarded. Then, when Jeannie's grandmother passed away, Jeannie's father's actions became extreme. He moved the family to his mother's home and placed Jeannie in a bedroom in the back of the house while the rest of the family stayed in the living room.
And then they all just
He would tie
left.
Jeannie down to a child's toilet for 13 hours every single day using a makeshift harness. Then at night, she was tied to a sleeping bag and placed in a crib with a metal screen over it. Anytime she made a sound, her father hit her with a large plank or made growling and barking noises to scare her. Eventually, Jeannie learned to make as little noise as possible.
Yeah, and this is a true story. This girl's still alive. I watched a video of her 10 years later.
Her room was kept dark, and no one in the family was allowed to speak to her without the father's permission. No one was allowed to leave the house, and his son John only went to school and back. John also had to prove his identity countless times before he would be allowed back inside the house. At one point, the father said that he would let Jeannie go if she survived past the age of 12. When she did, however, he refused to let her go. It took a year and a half for her mother to find the courage to leave the home with her daughter, and by this time, John had run away from home and was living with friends. Jeannie's mother tried to apply for disability, but accidentally walked into the social services offices next door because of her blindness. The social worker said she knew immediately something was wrong when she saw Jeannie. She was even more shocked to discover Jeannie was 13 years old, not 6 or 7, which is what she looked like.
Yeah, she weighed like 20 pounds.
Police were called in, and
13.
Jeannie's parents were then arrested. The little girl became a ward of the court, and she was taken to the Children's Hospital in Los Angeles. Doctors discovered Jeannie was mostly expressionless, even when experiencing an extreme emotion. She also had no sense of property or self-awareness, and didn't seem to be attached to any human being, including her mother and brother. Even though a lot of people had well-meaning intentions and wanted the best for her, Jeannie's case attracted curiosity. Because of her lack of communication skills, doctors and linguists found her case intriguing, and they wanted to see whether she could develop any social skills at all. So life after her rescue was equally difficult for the girl. She was shuffled to different foster homes, including the homes of well-meaning researchers. There were often even arguments over who would gain custody over the girl. Today, Jeannie is still alive and living at a private healthcare facility in Southern California.
This girl.
So there were 5 shocking stories of feral children.
She still can't talk.
These cases are extreme.
But she's alive and she's doing all right.
When Curtis first joined the case, Jeannie had a strange bunny walk and other almost inhuman characteristics. Jeannie constantly spat. She sniffed and clawed.
She spat? You sure she's not the llama kid?
She barely spoke or made any noises.
The indications are that she was beaten for making noise and consequently had learned basically not to vocalize. And she really didn't vocalize very much at all. When I first met her, she was silent most of the time.
Jeannie also received daily visits at Children's Hospital from James Kent, her psychologist. Kent recalls first meeting his new patient.
I was captivated by
a psychologist, essentially just an observer, because he didn't teach her how to talk. Peter the wild boy, German boy found living in the woods. Look at his name, Peter the wild boy. From feral child to human pet at court in Georgian England, Peter the wild boy caused a sensation. Amala and Kamala. Kamala Harris was raised by freaking... Oh, this one was a hoax. Story attracted substantial media attention and debate. However, the account was reported and promoted by only one source, the clergyman who claimed to have discovered the girls. Because of this, there is some controversy as to the authenticity of the story. French surgeon Serge Aroles concluded in his book, L'Énigme des Enfants Loups, Enigma of the Wolf Children, that the story was a hoax. So Kamala was not raised by a wolf. It's a hoax. Victor of Aveyron was a French feral child who was found at the age of 9. Not only is he considered one of the most famous children, but his case is also the most documented case of feral child. He was captured multiple times, running away from civilization approximately 8 times. Eventually, his case was taken up by a young physician, Jean-Marc Gaspard Itard, who worked with the boy for 5 years and gave him his name Victor. Itard was interested, dude, his last name is Itard, in determining what Victor could learn. He devised procedures to teach the boy words and recorded his progress. He devised procedures to teach the boy words and recorded his project. Based on his work with Victor, Itard broke new ground in education of the developmentally delayed. He was spotted. Victor was prepubescent when he was captured in 1800, but experienced puberty within a year or two. It is not known when or how he came to live in the woods near Saint-Cyrin-sur-Rance, though he was reportedly seen there around 1794 and 1797. He was spotted by 3 hunters. He ran from them, but they were able to catch him when he tried to climb a tree. They brought him to a nearby town where he was cared for by a widow. However, he soon escaped and returned to the woods. He was periodically spotted in 1798 and 1799. Dude, Bigfoot could be a dang feral child that grew up in the woods. Like, there's random sightings of him, and he's just, like, hiding in the trees. He emerged from forests on his own. His age was unknown, but citizens of the village estimated his age to be about 12. His lack of speech, as well as his food preferences and the numerous scars on his body, suggested to some that he had been in the wild for most of his life. Victor. And then Dina Sanakar, sent to Secundra orphanage in Agra, where he lived with other humans for over 20 years. He never learned to speak and remained seriously impaired. He was discovered in a cave in the district of Bulandshahr and was brought to a local district magistrate and collector, subsequently sent to Secundra orphanage in Agra. Guys, this is serious. This is serious. Don't laugh. Okay. Death and legacy. He died of tuberculosis in 1895 at the age of 34. I bet you if you hadn't ever brought him into civilization, he wouldn't have died from tuberculosis. Sanakar may have been the inspiration for the character Mowgli in the Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling wrote the Jungle Book? The guy who wrote the If poem wrote the Jungle Book? I did not know that. Huh. Learn something new every day. All right. So those are the feral children raised by wolves, raised by baboons, raised by goats and llamas, left alone. Some true, some a hoax, some are questionable, unknown. What do you guys think of the feral children? You know, I don't know. Panel vs. Blood Sports Debate Network. Hold on, Etard. Yeah, his name was Etard. He started to go through puberty because they introduced him to the internet, huh? Well, now I'm sad. JS depressing adventures. Well, she's what? Because of Jeannie, she's alive and she's taken care of now, so it has a happy ending. Has a happy ending. There's a whole there's like lots of documentaries about Jeannie. Not so many documentaries about that dog girl. I don't know if that story is true, but allegedly it's true. I don't know. But guys, I gotta go. What does Kanye have to say?
You ain't got the answers, man. I've been doing this more than you. You ain't been doing the education.
Bro.
You guys ain't been doing the education. I've been doing this more than you. You ain't got the answers. Thank you for the memberships, the gifted memberships. Robert sent some memberships. Everybody who sent the memberships, thank you guys for that. We got 6 new members. I'm going to figure out some members-only content soon. I've got to go walk my dog and go to work. Let me see if there's anybody streaming that I can raid you to. Hold on one second. Crucible. Tomato. Mosman's live. He's playing Dungeons and Dragons. We'll send you over there. Hopefully it's not over when you get there, like last time. Raid the Crucible. Crucible's got like 5,000 people watching. That is for the stream, Josh. Send us to the Crucible. All right, I'll send you to the Crucible, even though it's kind of embarrassing when somebody has like 4,000 people watching them to do a raid with like 12 people. But we did do John last week, so I'll send you to the Crucible. Thank you guys for hanging out. God bless you. Thank you guys for the memberships. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Well, we're good. We got 15 likes, 11 viewers. So go watch the Crucible. Say shout out from JS. Small raid. But, you know, it's the thought that counts. It's almost like, it's like embarrassing. Like, hey, I'm raiding the Crucible where there's 4,000 people watching. Here's my audience of 12. But it's whatever. It's great. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out. God bless. I'll catch you tomorrow morning for the Bible study. We're going to be looking at the Tower of Babel. We're working our way through Exodus. We're on an Exodus through Exodus. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Have a good one. Peace out.